Okay, let me share some links here real quick. That way we get people to actually join and talk to us.
One, two, three, four. Look like 6 on Rumble already. 7.
Yeah, it says Rumble starts out pretty quick, and then like nobody talks over there.
Right. I was poking around on it yesterday. Looks like they've added quite a bit to it. I need to download the app again.
I've streamed to a bunch of different places, even if nobody's watching. That way, it's there later on if we need it, if they want to watch it or whatever.
Right.
It's also in case if one place takes down your stream, and you still have it up and you can like, I'll just go watch it over there.
Right.
Right. Bless you.
Thank you.
How long until we get a spammer on Twitch posting something? They're not posting links like they're not supposed to. Happens every day.
Never tried it.
Single one
never really
here.
done much.
Click it.
There we go. Trying to get my crap. Just about to dump juice all over the floor. Just trying to fix my get my table where I wouldn't bump it. There we go. I think I got enough room now.
Almost done. Sorry, y'all. I need to get a producer.
Right.
To do all this shit. All right, we got links shared, so some people should be showing up here shortly.
All right.
And then we've got some other people that are going to be joining in for the conversation here. So it should be a good conversation. I'm looking forward to it.
Heck yeah, I am too.
Sorry, I had to make sure I hydrate.
Hydration and salad all in one.
Yep.
Hey, here's my salad. It's still kind of, cheesecake. Can't really.
Ooh, that looks good.
It is good. It's strawberry.
Hey, Jay, welcome in, buddy.
Don't know what it is, but I've been fucking craving it, and I'm like, fuck. So I bought myself a cheesecake, a full one.
Alrighty, welcome in, everybody. We are going to be having a discussion on the future of the VA, whether they should go privatized or, and also different suggestions that people have to help better make the VA work better for people as well. Hopefully all in one conversation here. So anybody who wants to start can go ahead.
I guess I can go ahead and start. I got out in 2019 and pretty much got set up with the VA as soon as I got out. I'm no longer able to work. I got pretty bad back problems and knee problems. Couldn't get them diagnosed and treated properly while I was in. So at least I was able to get, diagnoses and eventually service connect most of my issues. And I have been fighting them since then for 100% continuity of care and travel are the big three. continuity care, they have just waged a holy war on the Mission Act since probably about a year after its passing. They created a program called the Referral Coordination Initiative, and much like anything in government, it's not what it sounds like. You would think, oh, well, that's going to make getting community care easier. No, its sole purpose is to deny as many community care referrals as possible. And that has pretty significantly affected my chiropractic care. I go get the 12 visits, use those. The chiropractor sends in the request for renewal, and they deny it because they don't like his notes, which I've got a copy of them. I don't know what their issue is. He's provided everything they've asked for, but somehow they still find a reason to deny it. So ultimately, my stance is what they're doing now isn't working, and the literal definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and over again and expecting a different result each time. And that routinely seems to be the relationship between the VA and the Congress. Keep doing what we've been doing, as Congress will pass laws regulating the VA, but we will not enforce said laws. So essentially the VA can do whatever the hell they want, and they know that. So we've either got to spend some insane amount of effort replacing the people in Congress who oversee the VA, the Committee on Veterans Affairs, and gut the VA and replace management specifically, and replace them with people that are going to adhere to the law, which is the harder of the two options. Or we could find some way to privatize them and change the power paradigm within the VA so that when they are told they are supposed to do something, they do it or they face the consequences. At this point, I've got absolutely no faith in Mike Bost or any of the other people on the Committee on Veterans Affairs. They've had plenty of time to fix it, and all they do is write strongly worded letters and pass a law every now and then that never gets enforced.
Okay, so
I'll hang it up there and let someone else jump in.
There's just a question in chat that I'm going to ask real quick. Jay said the VA doesn't have in-house chiropractors? ?
Well, they do. They do, but they're only at the VA hospitals. Where I live, I've got a community outpatient clinic that I can go to. It's pretty good because they're staffed by contractors instead of VA employees. And I've only got one chiropractor available to me. Well, technically two, but I didn't like the other one out where I live. I'm in a semi-rural area, so I can't drive to a VA hospital.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, with privatizing, I mean, it'd kind of be difficult because the way the VA is, but I do think, just like what Yeti said, like gutting mostly the bureaucratic individuals, like the bosses and stuff, because they're pretty much twiddling their thumbs, not really giving a crap about what's going on with the veterans. And I mean, in 2016, I made a threat to a psychiatrist because they weren't helping me at all, and I got put on disruptive behavior flag. Well, part of that flag should have never been put up because I had the VA police actually put words in my mouth saying I was going to murder the psychiatrist as well as her unborn child, which I would have never touched that woman nor her child. I didn't know how to ask for help, and they pretty much, when you get out of the military, you are not taught how to ask for help at all. You're pretty much told asking for any kind of help is a sign of weakness. And I think that's where the problem is the VA kind of needs to realize that we don't know how to ask for it. We're still thinking, yes, we're weak for even coming here. So they have to, and there's even on the bureaucratic side, there's people that have been in the military that know this.
Yeah.
But they still don't do a damn thing about it. So those people need to get out, and the people that will actually adhere to laws and stuff like that will actually do what Congress wants them to do. They need to get placed in there. But I left the VA for almost 8 years because of that bullshit. And I got out in 2013, and I'm not fully innocent in what I've done with the VA, but now I've seen that the VA has changed a little bit in my area. I live an hour and a half away from my VA.
Yeah.
But that's something I noticed. I know every VA is totally different. So that's all I gotta say.
Tommy, because I'm over an hour and a half away from my VA. Tommy, how far away are you from your VA hospital?
Oh, it's a horrible drive for me. 6 blocks.
Okay. This is actually a pretty good sample as the people who deal with the VA. Most of us are within an hour and a half, but over 45 minutes. And this is why I'm very big on privatization of the VA. I don't think the hospitals are able to serve the population correctly because most of the population lives over 45 minutes away. And if you told any civilian, hey, your hospital is 45 minutes away, most people, that would be a problem for. Now you get some people who are in very rural areas who are just fine with that. But for the majority of Americans, they don't want to drive over a half hour away from their hospital.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm 6 blocks away. Very lucky. Only had a house there because it was next to the air base in Minneapolis. Now, my plan is to move where I'm currently at to Annandale, Minnesota, and that would put me at about an hour and 15-minute drive just to get there. My brother-in-law lives about 30 miles down the road from Annandale, and they don't have a full hospital in St. Cloud, Minnesota. So a lot of his care he has to go through to get approved to go see an outside provider, which I don't agree that it's too much of a hassle for him.
Well, I believe that to be very intentionally so. If you look at and go there, I hunted after one specifically because I've spoken to the gentleman in question. But there's a hearing they had right before Christmas that Darren Selnick testified in front of testified. He could only answer what they asked him. But before that, I watched one where they had all the VA heads, and if you listen to them, every time a problem is brought to their attention, their solution is always, "We need to hire more staff. We need to create a new department. We need to create a new training program. We need to find a way to spend money on anyone but the veteran." It's like you can only hire so many people. You can only get so many applications in. The people we've got aren't doing anything. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, that brings up a great point. Is this article I've got is from the Federal News Network. It's about 2 months old, and trying to get good stats on the VA website. I was just looking at them this morning and again today. A lot of them are back to 2022 when they were last updated. But here's one example on the employees saying they need more help. In 2024, they hired 61,000 employees across the nation. And with a cap, let's see here, for 2025, they want to bring on an additional 5,000 employees. Now, I'd like to know, I know they, in the metro here in Minnesota, I'm lucky because it's a very good VA hospital here for me. Yeah. But they are extremely short doctors, nurses, and especially when it comes to dental, because I'm able to use dental there. And they have no hygienists there. So they brought in a contractor to help out. It's pretty sad, but I started talking with one of the head dentists there, and he said that the outside pays roughly $10,000 to $15,000 more a year for hygienists on the outside versus what the VA pays, which is unbelievable that there's such a pay difference. And do you blame these people when they get out of school? Well, I'm going to go work for a private dentist because I make much more money. Same with some of the therapists and that. It's bad. Now, I remember back in I want to say it was the late 80s, mid 90s, when the military was having a heck of a time getting IT people, because these guys could step into the outside world and make 80, 90,000 a year. And back then that was a lot of money. So the feds came up with a kicker program. Hey, we'll hire you and we'll bump you up, 15, 20 grand a year to get these qualified people in here. And I don't know why and I hate to just throw money at a problem, but if that's what it takes to get these people in there, I think that's what they seriously ought to look at. Good afternoon, Sir Bolts.
Hey, let me ask you a question right quick. You mentioned you have dental through the VA. What was the determining factor for that? Because I've never been able to get a clear answer. What qualifies you for dental?
100%. Or if you're considered unemployable or unemployability, TDIU, that's another way to get it.
Okay.
And
that's what I thought it was.
What about IU, individual unemployability?
That's what
that
TDIU
also covers
is.
it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I got to say, the dentist that helped me out, because I had a lot of problems overseas, so a lot of stuff wasn't taken care of. And here to find out, I had two that were done by military dentists on an Air Force base that weren't done properly and had a hole from the roots of the teeth up into my sinus cavity, which was causing all my sinus problems.
Wow.
The VA dentist actually found it and was able to fix it. I didn't like being in the chair for 4 hours, but
well, I don't blame you.
The outcome was well worth it.
Fair enough. Okay, cool. Thanks. I appreciate that. You about to say something, Chris?
Just one question one statement that was put in here. First off, Boat said before he got in here that he's 4 hours away from his VA hospital, but he's only 15 minutes from a clinic in another state. And Jay said, we have new facilities here. He's in Oklahoma. He said they have trouble finding doctors and nurses. And he says he seems like he gets a new doctor every year. And he also said it's not automatic either. You got to call the dental.
Right. Yeah.
One thing that I don't understand as a civilian looking in on all this is, why is there not a standard for care that is absolute across all the VAs?
VA is like working. Is VA The way I look at it, the VA is like being on workman's comp. They don't want to do a goddamn thing for you.
Pretty much, yeah. That they want the answer to most of these questions is the VA wants to keep the money.
It's like
go ahead.
It's like the saying, like with the outside doctors and stuff like that, they keep you sick. Like with big pharma, they keep you sick and stuff like that. That's all I'm going to say
Yeah.
about that. It's
Yeah.
for the money.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know that-
it's. Go ahead.
To the bureaucracy is more bureaucracy, and that's the problem. Is that you can't cut through the red tape. They're just putting more and more and more, and every time a new problem comes up, they want to put in more. That's why I think the VA needs to get out of the health business. I think they need to get out of the education business. We already have Health and Human Services. We have a Department of Education. Why is the VA giving me my GI Bill money? Why can't I go to the Department of Education? And then if I have a problem, I go to the VA and say, hey, they're not giving me my money. And now they advocate on my behalf. But that's not
what
what
it
they
should
do.
be. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that.
You know, if I
Jay's
can.
asking-
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Jay's asking, is the VA state run for the most part? He said it seems like it is.
So I've spent probably about 5 years. I mean, anytime I thought of something like, I wonder if this would help, I'd search it online, try and frame it, try and figure out how I'm going to come across it, try and figure out what the VA is doing, how they're doing it, why they're doing it before I even talk to anybody over there. Cause it's like pulling teeth trying to get answers out of the VA. So you've got the, Secretary of the VA. He's the top man. He could order the VA to do something, and they would essentially have to do it, but they usually don't. So from there, you've got the regions, I think it's the regions, and states can have multiple regions. The region I'm in is the North Texas VA health system. The one that I believe Jay is talking about is the Oklahoma City health system, I think. And they have a director. From there, it goes down to the individual hospitals, and they have the director I mentioned just previously would be the for me director of the North Texas health system, and below him would be the director of the hospital in question, I believe, and everything essentially filters down. And to kind of touch back on what we said before, the VA does have a standard of health across the entire VA. It's called hire the doctors that work for the least. But it's they're saving money there. Yet when you file, or when you get your doctor, the one you go in and actually see face to face at the hospital or the outpatient clinics, they decide that particular treatment would be in your best interest. You two come on an agreement, and then you get the authorization, right? Oh wait, no, it's got to be filtered through like 10 other individuals, and maybe at most 2 of those other 10 are actual medical professionals. So it's made by an administrative decision involving like 10 other people. It's like, if you really wanted to save money, how about we cut the 10 other people out you're paying wages to, and just give us what we need? And nobody, you bring that up to these heads of the VA, like you see at the committee I talked about, and they just immediately, the first thing that comes out of their mouth, we believe the veterans deserve world-class health care.
We don't get it.
Then why aren't we getting it? If that's your goal, are you retarded or are you corrupt? Those are the only two
The
options.
VA,
Maybe a little of both.
who
Yeah.
the VA employees who cannot get a medical license in many cases.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they're under a whole different licensing. One thing I've been on both worlds. I see what my wife goes through here in Minnesota, and I'm extremely blessed that I've got a great VA, good doctors, good specialists. Have I had problems with them? Yeah. I had to put one doctor in his place. He was hawing around about a problem, a service-connected problem, and he didn't want to admit something about it. And I looked him straight in the face and I said, look, I'm already 100%. You're not going to give me any more ammo to increase the claim. And it was like a light clicked and he turned around and I was taken care of. But I've seen what the wife has to go through on the civilian side, which has really gone down the tubes for outside care in the metro area here. Everything is pre-approval. You've got to jump through all these hoops. You go in with a broken leg. Oh, we're going to put you in therapy, go through this, and then come back in 6 months and we'll see how it is. Just crazy. Where when I've gone into the VA, and I'm not putting up, putting up for them, but I've gone in for several emergency visits, and they have run every test under the damn sun. That if I would have went into a regular ER or my doctor's office, they would have hawed around about, oh, this isn't covered, that's not covered. Oh, we got to do this first before we can do that. All these steps they got to jump through to get you that care. So, is one better than the other? No. What I would really love to see, instead of just completely doing away with the hospital portion, because administration-wise, that branch of the VA needs to be completely redone. But to say, hey, if you're set a limit, or some guidelines that if you're within so far or so far out of the range of a VA, whether it's 30 miles, 50 miles. We'll give you the option. We'll give you this card that's just like an insurance policy. You can walk into any clinic, any ER, and get taken care of without having to deal with the driving.
It would be nice. One caveat I would add on to that is, forgive me, I had it. I just lost it. I'll come back to it if I remember it.
You're good. I do that all the time. I'll be in the middle of the conversation and go ahead.
So the only caveat I would add on to that, I agree with you. The medical industry as a whole is garbage compared to what it was. I mean, we were before Obama. We were like within 5 to 10 years of customized healthcare for the individual. I mean, blood draws, DNA tests, the whole kit and caboodle. The one benefit that I can see to going out into the community, not directly linked to community care necessarily, versus being tied at the VA. Say, if, let's say you live the last time I heard them mention it was 32 minutes was the determining factor. If you've got stage 4 cancer and you live 31 minutes from the hospital, and the VA, for whatever reason, I don't think it's a majority of them, but there have been some VAs out there that have said, oh, they don't have cancer, it's all in their head. I mean, they can barely stand, but they don't have cancer. Dallas, they had not too long ago, maybe midway last year, they had a veteran with stage 4 cancer die in the Dallas VA hospital from bed sores because they held him hostage and would not allow him to go out into the community because he lived too close to the VA. That's not what the Mission Act says. The Mission Act, the number one most important criteria in that bill, it's mentioned over 100 times, is what is in the veteran's best medical interest. They even made sure to put a little splurge in there that they would do what's in the veteran's best medical interest over what's in the VA's best financial interest. Yet that's not being done. It's if the Mission Act were being followed, I don't think we'd be having this discussion today. Maybe it wouldn't be the best healthcare in the world, but it wouldn't be the worst.
No, and I think that, and I have heard so many nightmare stories from the VA, different VAs, and like the one in Texas with that poor individual. It should have never happened, but I think that's I won't say a small incidents because it happens all over, but
yeah.
I really think the people at the VAs are key to making it successful and taking care of the troops.
I would agree with that. The only problem we're running into is I've got dozens upon dozens, or at least I had. I've deleted my contact list. I gave up. I quit. But I had dozens upon dozens of contacts within the VA that wanted to help me. They just didn't have the power to do so. I can't tell you how long it took travel to get squared away at the Dallas VA because all their people were like, we're telling them what's wrong. We're telling them what needs to be done to fix it. And our management just isn't listening to us.
And I'll throw one more out here. Why I don't want to see the VAs completely scrapped. And when I say VAs, that the hospital portion. I think it was about 2.5 years ago. I ended up about 2.5 days in the hospital. And the gentleman in the room with me, gosh, I want to say he was in his late 80s, early 90s. Very interesting character. He was on one of the last nuclear test explosions and was exposed to some pretty heavy radiation. And surprisingly, he's still alive. Now, and he would have blisters inside of his mouth and on his body just start appearing from this radiation. At the Minneapolis VA, they actually have several doctors that are specialists in radiation exposure. If you were to go into an ER in a regular hospital, they're not going to have that. Where I think that's one thing the VA shines in for some of the crap we're exposed to. They're able to figure out what's going on and hopefully help you out with it. And that's where I'd like to see them concentrate on the stuff that, like the burn pits. They finally, I mean, how many years to get the Agent Orange finally,
right.
put in? But
right. I can get on board with that.
When I was in the military, I was actually at the base, and I'm sorry to interrupt, Yeti. My base was Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, and I remember specifically seeing FOIA requests because that was my job. I was getting the FOIA request and giving it to the civilians so they could work on it, and they kept talking shit about the Agent Orange and shit like that, saying it's not real, and now all of a sudden it is. And that's what my dad essentially died from. He was exposed to it, as well as we're all exposed to it with Roundup.
Yeah, I think it's pretty. I remember watching that in the process. Sorry, I had to bend down a little bit. I remember watching that go through the process and thinking, I mean, this is a no-brainer. They dumped what was Agent Orange? It was
defoliant.
Yeah, it's bad stuff. I mean, they used it in a wartime capacity. You don't shoot cotton balls at the enemy. Yeah. So the idea that it could ever be said that Agent Orange couldn't have harmed the soldiers is it's gaslighting at its best.
1 second here. Thomas, can you close out the app and re-enter, please, bud? You're locked up.
Oh, am I? Oh, sorry.
No, it's not. It happens. I'm sorry. Jay said, I can walk into any ER and the VA covers it. I haven't had issues with that. Tamara says, I don't know anything about VA care, but the care for seniors is terrible. Caveman Look is in here. He said, what about the water at Camp Lejeune? I was born in 66, so they had it 16 years. He said, then went in 17 years later, and the VA gives me the big green weenie.
Yeah.
And Ray MacArthur said, my father was there, and so was I. 6 times longer than the national average. So I just wanted to read that to you guys so you heard them.
Well, I can tell you, when you have VA care, you can go to any ER or any ER and get covered. However, they do screw up billing sometimes, and I've had veterans who've had the VA screw up the billing system, and then they suddenly have their credit score in the tank because now there's this medical place that's saying that they're not paying the bill when it's absolutely the VA's problem.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And on top of that, to add on to your point, there was I bought these gummies maybe about a year ago. I'd never had the gummies before. I thought I was doing right. I took one. I waited a little bit, and I'm like, I could probably do another. I take the other, and about bedtime, I feel like I'm, So I call the ambulance. Of course, they tell me, you just got to ride it out. There's nothing. I was just trying to not be in pain while I was trying to sleep. And the guys that showed up, the EMTs that showed up, there's hospital's not. You're just gonna have to ride out. Hospital's not really going to have anything they can do other than monitor you. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll stay home then. Don't have to worry about how I'm going to get back from the hospital. That's fine, right? Well, come to find out that the VA does not pay for the ambulance unless they take you to the hospital. They've not actually come out and said it. They're real good at that, saying stuff without saying it. But the prevailing mentality within the VA seems to be that ambulances there's nothing an ambulance will encounter that's life-threatening if they don't take you to the hospital. There's no life-saving care an ambulance can provide. I'm guessing these people don't have any diabetics in the family because that's the biggest one. I mean, they've got insulin. I can't tell you how many times growing up we had to call the ambulance because my dad went into a diabetic coma. And not one time did he actually have to go to the hospital, and he's just fine. He's still around today.
Well, that's good. That's like the thing I'd add on to that is because we have a lot of, we're like a mini San Francisco in Minneapolis. It's crazy.
Okay.
But overdoses are off the chart. So for an EMT to show up, an ambulance firefighter, and administer Narcan, that's saving their life.
Yeah.
So.
I mean,
sounds like somebody's talking out their ass there, in my opinion.
Yeah, if I lived in one of those areas, I'd probably be on hardcore drugs myself.
Well, this is the hardest thing I take, and it's. I don't think I've had one for about 2 months now, so I'm enjoying.
I've actually got one I need to try. I stole it from my dad when I went to put the dogs back in the backyard, so I'm gonna go give it a shot. We'll see how good it is.
Well, this is
My.
to give you an idea. This is a honey vice that's been sitting in the fridge for probably 6 months. So from kind of reminds me of when I spent time in Germany.
The Wilburns
So I-
are over in Rumble. They said, "Hey everyone." Gravy's one of our veterans. It's on our Discord, part of our community. He said, "For me, the worst part is the ignorant people who have blind faith in the broken system and spread the lies that they have programs that will be helpful, but they assume they haven't actually seen a success story."
You see a lot of people who will say, well, they've got programs for that. And yeah, they do have programs, but are you eligible is a big question because they like to say, oh, no, you're not eligible, or our program is full, you can't get into it.
Yeah, they're real big on eligibility. They like to disqualify us for stuff.
Well, yeah, and then depending on your rating, it really makes a big difference. You know, if you're 10%, I won't say the bottom of the barrel, but you're way down there on the priority list. You know, and it goes up to 50%. Now you're getting, you know, pretty damn good care. You're up on the priority list.
Yeah, well, I'm at 80%. I'm getting paid at the 80% bracket currently. Between that and Social Security disability, I'm pulling in roughly about $38,000 a year. And I'm worse off now financially than I was, 10 years ago, making $25,000 a year. I'm lucky if I get anything. There for a while, I had to straight up tell my doctor, put a note in my file, if anything that it is determined to be in my best medical interest that I cannot get done at the outpatient clinic, I need a note in my file that says this care is inaccessible to me, because I couldn't keep the continuity of care on the referral side, authorization side, sorry. And then on the flip side, another pressure point they were pushing for a while was travel. I had some lady, I'm convinced, I've got no way to prove it, but I am convinced that this one lady was hunting down my travel vouchers and denying them if they were in the BTS3 system, the online travel voucher system, and just throwing them in the garbage if they were on paper. I kept having to appeal my travel vouchers. And the reason, every single time, it wouldn't say it because they didn't have a code for it, because it's not a thing. But every time I called in, somehow I'd end up at the same lady every time. Well, you did not provide a handwritten doctor's note that proved you went to your VA. Okay, well, let's walk through what I did show. Okay, I've done everything they asked me to. It's printed out. It's got their signature and it's got their address. Well, it's not handwritten. So I just stopped going. I was just like, I'm in the middle of an authorization currently for chiropractor. Travel sounds like they finally got something done. I'm finally getting paid that again, so that's good. But I fully anticipate this next authorization to get denied, and I'm going to have to appeal it, which will result in probably a minimum of 30 days I won't be able to go to the chiropractor. Well, if I were to appeal that I've already done the 12 visits, so they're going to say, oh, well, you have 6 visits. And if you use them up, because, now I've got to go back where I was about to get to the once every other week, I'm having to start over and do once every week again and again. I never seem to get to the once every 2 weeks because that 30 days undoes all the progress we make. It's a nightmare. I mean, I'm sure a lot of this could probably be attributed to specifically Dallas VA, because they are the I don't know what you'd call it. They're basically the head. They're corporate for the North Texas Health VA system. They're the VA's corporate equivalent. They make all the decisions at Dallas. Everything gets sent through Dallas. They catch up on their backlog of travel vouchers, and then they authorize all the other VAs to help them out with travel. Then a backlog shows up, and they restrict all travel voucher processing back to Dallas. They do most things they do up there very ass backwards.
Yeah, I guess I'm frozen up here. I'm gonna jump off the video here. I'll still listen, but I just wanted to throw a couple things out there on the VA that I would love to see. You know,
Okay.
complete reform. I mean, that's number one. But
Absolutely.
the ability, if they find a person that's a problem, because I ran into a doctor and she's luckily no longer there. For the VA to, whether it's a doctor, a health provider, to someone doing forms out, because we just had one in Wisconsin. I mean, she denied more claims than anybody, and they ended up redoing those claims for those folks in Wisconsin and gave them all back pay. But to be able to come in and say, you're fired. We don't care about your union. That's it. You're done. We've given you, these warnings and this and that, and then they brushed it under the carpet. That has to be stopped, And then people that make decisions on claims at the claim level that don't have a clue what they're doing, and they're just trying to get their numbers up so they can say, hey, I processed 1,000 claims this month.
Regardless of outcome, right?
Right. And I came across an interesting stat that I want to say last year, because they'd approved so many claims, the VA was touting that they only had a 17% failure rate, or they denied claims. 17% of the claims that were denied were unjustly denied and should have been approved.
Yeah.
To me, 17%, that's a failure in my book. It should be less than 1%.
And you can see the fault in these the unjust denial of meritorious claims. In simple stuff, like in mine, the number one thing that proves they are maliciously denying my claim over and over and over again is I did as much as I could prior to hiring a lawyer, because I didn't want to forfeit a portion of what I was owed to get what I was owed. And the number one thing that shows they're doing it maliciously is when I had my higher level review where I spoke on the phone to a dude, I told him when I worked at GameStop, the year I got out, it was, I was working for minimum wage, 10 hours a week if I was lucky. And, it was one of the lightest duty jobs you could find. And it was even that was too much for me. I was going to have to quit if they offered me a permanent position after the holidays. But I went through and I did the math. I literally did the math on the phone, gave him the hard numbers. And I told him, via these numbers, per federal, national, and in-house VA guidelines, GameStop cannot be considered gainful employment. Every single, and he agreed. Yes, that is correct. Every denial previously and every denial after,
I just wanted to know the camera was on.
They have referenced GameStop as gainful employment. So you've clearly got bad actors in there somewhere. I don't know if it's. I suspect it's people being told how to do their job versus, an overwhelming majority of grunts that hate veterans. Because, I hadn't seen any correlative data to that to indicate that it's the grunts that are causing the problem.
Okay. I just want to jump in here real quick and get
Go
some
ahead.
comments in. Caveman said, I am so pissed off about the water issue. Somebody knew about it for 30 years before. Now they turn a blind eye. Ray said, sure, 25% of us are already dead. The appointments you say checked out if you went there. Not sure about that one. And Caveman said something about, did anybody keep their Miko fish? I think that he
Microfiche.
said he misspelled it.
It's the
yeah.
old way the record.
Okay, gotcha.
He's dating himself.
Jay said, gotta love the VA staff. Those folks deal with being treated bad by frustrated people and don't get paid enough for it. Jamie said most are actually pretty good and want to help us.
Yeah.
And Jamie said, we put blind faith in almost anything. The VA will never be perfect. Neither will the other side of the medical house for civilians. Some
That's the
programs
thing.
do work if
We
you put
don't
work.
we don't need it to be perfect. None of us are asking for the VA to be perfect. The VA is claiming to be perfect, but we don't need them to be perfect. We just need them to fucking work. I'm sorry. Can I cuss on here?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you
Well,
you've never
I
watched one of my
find it
shows? Then?
offensive.
You've never watched one of my live streams, apparently.
Well, you know, I have been trying to make it, man. It's weird, man. I can get to, other than Wednesday, I can get to all of Tyler's and Atlas's live streams, but for whatever reason, every time you go live, something comes up. It's
That
getting old,
Fred,
man.
Fred has virgin ears.
Oh, okay.
Gravy said legislation ties their hands and they are afraid to fight for us because they may be labeled as fire starters.
Well, that's the thing.
So-
The Mission Act actually gave them more freedom, and they have fought it every step of the way. That's not the staff's fault. That's management's fault. They're the ones screwing stuff up. The way I've put it for
They
years
are-
is the people that want to help don't have the power to help. The people that have the power to help don't want to help.
I got a.
Ray said,
All right, go ahead.
go ahead, Bud. Go ahead,
No,
Bud.
you go first. Age before beauty.
I was just going to say, fucker. Ray said, the VA that is working my claims are generally fighting to discover as they go to get me as close to 100% as possible. Currently at 93%. Tyler's on. Hey, Tyler, how you doing, buddy?
Hey.
Welcome in. He said, I appreciate that, Yeti.
Yeah.
Um,
I didn't even know you were there.
Here's the other thing here's the biggest thing that I'm going to bring up and throw out here. And it was brought up earlier, is the bureaucracy is the biggest, I think the biggest part of the problem in any section of government at this point. And one thing that I would love to see happen is all the bureaucratic bullshit thrown the fuck out, and every position has to be voted in.
Mm-hmm. Or at least the most key positions, at the very least. Oh,
Yeah.
and they need to be legally prohibited from having a union. They need to be prohibited from forming a union. The union they have needs to be abolished, and they need to be federally prohibited from forming a union in the future. Because let's assume that the VA's union is the unicorn of the bunch. It's the only union that is still doing what unions are supposed to be. That would actually be the worst case scenario, because by its very nature, it will prioritize the staff over the veterans that they're supposed to be serving. And you know, anyone I've talked to that actually shows a desire to help willingly rejected the union. So I think there's something there.
Well, most
I'm gonna have to
unions
get
end up
going.
becoming corrupt anyway. Go ahead, bud.
I'm gonna have to get going, but I do want everyone to know, if you are fighting claims in the VA and you want assistance as to what advice I can give, you can find me, Veteran Nation, on YouTube and on X and all that.
Awesome. Okay, I'll check you out.
let me share your information here, bud, real quick before you run off.
So before you get ready to share, let me break in when you're getting ready to share. I got out in 93. I was told when I got out that I didn't deserve any VA benefits because nothing happened to me. In the few years since 93, every tooth that the Navy had ever worked on is disintegrated in my mouth. Now, when I'm trying to get VA benefits, I've filed 7 times. 7 times I've gotten denied because they cannot find my records. I've gone through DAV here in the state of Maine, which is absolutely horrid. I do not recommend the DAV in the state of Maine at all. My wife has just handed me a business card that I have to get a hold of a guy because she was speaking to him. She works for the Department of State doing passports, and they had some type of program going on where this guy, he does things, he helps veterans get their shit together. And so I'm going to work with him, but they can't find my medical records. I've applied. I had one gentleman that was nice enough to call me and said, "Hey, I think your medical records were destroyed in a fire." And I got out in 93. I missed the fires by a few years, but we don't know where your medical records are. Okay. Just for shits and giggles, I submitted a form to get updated medals and ribbons. I got all that. So somebody has my administrative records, but they can't seem to find my medical records. Now the VA in the last year has sent me a letter saying that I have been approved, or they want me in for testing because of the back during the Gulf War, during the oil fires. Our ship was in the oil stream or oil smoke stream, so they want me in for the smoke testing. That so they understand that. So I applied for that, and I went in, put in all my information. They came back. Until you can provide us your medical records, we can't put you in the study. Well, you're the one who told me that I was there. Why can't you use that as submitting it as? And they're like, "No, we actually need your medical records." She's fine. So I don't understand that. They know I was there. They have record that I was there. They asked me to be part of the testing, but yet they can't take me because I don't have my medical records.
Well, let me ask you one question, and this is more of a facetious question than an actual question.
Facetious.
When you were in, how much importance did the military place on records? Just
to be
in
honest
general.
with you,
whatever.
administratively, they were Johnny on the spot. I remember before we took off for Desert Storm Part 1, we had to line up in front of medical, and they started giving us inoculations. They did not document a single thing, except for the fact all they wrote down was they checked off that the service member was there for his inoculation. We asked them what we were getting because we wanted it on our shot cards. They're like, "No, we can't put it on your shot record." Why can't you put it on our shot record? There's so many people to put through. We don't have time to write it down. That doesn't make any sense.
It almost sounds to me like whoever made these calls on the military side knew what it was. Like Agent Orange, for example. I've heard a lot of stories about people not being able to get into the whole Agent Orange thing, even though it's a presumptive condition.
Right.
because they don't have medical records. So it's almost as if put my little
Tinfoil
conspiracy
hat on?
hat on. Yeah. It's almost like the people that gave the go no go order knew that this shit was dangerous, so they went out of their way to make sure there weren't records of it.
Right. Now, see, with my tinfoil hat on, I believe that they were testing anthrax vaccines on us, but
think
I
so.
can't prove it. I can't prove it. They knew that, Iraq had some type of chemical weapons. Why couldn't they just tell us they're giving us a anthrax vaccine? I don't know. But
it would only make sense.
right. But
Okay, so we have a question here.
we have an answer.
Derek says, has anyone got Social Security to follow VA decision without a fight? He says, I don't know how this might relate, but I don't understand how the VA rated me IU and I was turned down by Social Security 3 times. Why can't these agencies communicate directly?
The bottom line answer is lawyer. Obviously, give it a shot. I would encourage. I was told the Social Security was actually supposed to be the harder to get, but I got that before I got 70%. It's bottom line. It's lawyer. They and the VA. It's like an unwritten policy. If you look down and they don't have a legal representative listed, deny them, because what can they do about it?
Yep.
Right.
I had to go. It took me 3 years, and my 3rd year, I had to get a lawyer. And first time getting a lawyer, within 6 months, I had it.
Yeah. I tried it one time with Social Security before I got a lawyer. I was able to get it within 2 years, which really surprised me.
I'll put this tidbit of information out. It has nothing to do with that, but
okay.
I was injured. I was a federal firefighter as a civilian. I got injured on the job. Workman's Comp took my case over, and every year I have to fill out have I been employed type information. I got to go to the doctors. They got to sign off. Every year they ask me, do I receive VA benefits? If I do, because I even asked, I said, why you guys keep asking if I receive VA benefits? Come to find out, they're going to garnish my wages, because if I receive VA benefits, whatever I get from the VA, say I get $100 a month, they're going to take that away from me, $100 a month in my workman's comp pay. So anyone that's out there.
Okay, gotcha. I'm on the same page with you now. Carry on.
Yeah. So anyone that's out there, if you're getting, now this is federal workman's comp. I can't say what the state does.
Right.
But anyone that's out there, if they work for the federal government and you get injured and you are receiving VA benefits, be advised that whatever you receive for your workman's comp benefit while you're being treated under the workman's comp umbrella, you will get that amount reduced from your pay.
Yeah, because that, I believe, workman's comp is. It's workman's comp. It's, you get injured on the job, obviously. But I believe it's under the classification of a needs-based program. Basically, you can't work, so you need the money. So, if you're making the money, I personally think it could all be handled much better than it currently is.
Right.
But I've looked at a lot of that, because the guy I lived with, I refused to go back to the city I lived in prior to enlisting. But the guy I lived with after I got out, he had SSI, and then I got SSDI. So I was kind of able to kind of see what the differences were between the two. It kind of gave me a good idea of how they operate. Personally, I'd just say do what you can to get rid of workers' comp at a state level. I talk a lot. Y'all may see in the Discord. I talk a lot of shit about Texas, Not because I hate Texas. I actually love it, but it's not the Texas I thought it was. But I think we do all right without workers' comp for the most part.
Yeah, I do too. I just literally went in yesterday for a spinal cord stimulator trial that we have been fighting with them for a while to get approved. And so I literally just went in yesterday and got the trial done. That's taken that was a what 8-9 month fight just to get that done.
Then they finally approved it for the procedure production. So
Yeah, they got that's one way they got around it. They approved it for the procedure, but not the facility. So the facility wasn't going to get paid, so they canked it. But yeah. So yeah, workman's comp
Okay.
is not our friend.
I've never, I don't think I've ever met anyone that had been, at least been through the process that had much good to say about it.
Right? No, but they still own my injury, so that's why I have to deal with them.
That sucks, man. That really sucks.
Okay, let me just get caught up here. Jay said that's weird boats. I don't have records. All they did was reevaluate me through doctor's visits, and off I went. Ray McCarthy said sounds like Fauci. Tamara said were they using you as guinea pigs? Caveman
Yeah.
said the military was so dumb that at my EAS never asked, and that was 40 years ago. Jay said I've had 3 anthrax shots. Derek said I just finished my 3rd inpatient program for PTSD treatment. I don't know why they can't call the VA and stamp what the VA stamps. And Derek said, I appreciate the response, guys. Thank you. Cindy said, hi, everyone. Mercedes says, hi, everyone. Caveman says, the powers. How was I able to keep all my medical records and they never asked about not having them turned over? So
I will add. Let me know when you're done, Chris, because I have something to add.
I'm good. Go ahead.
All right, so I just thought of this, and I don't know why I didn't think of it before. Okay, so we were second ship behind the USS Princeton when she hit the landmine. Not the landmine, excuse me. Sorry. Sea mine. It'd be pretty hard for a ship to hit a landmine. So we strayed.
Stranger things have happened.
Right? We strayed into a minefield, the whole battle group. Okay, so we had to sit there and float with the current until we could get all the mines cleared. They knew we were in that minefield. The night after that, our chemical weapons alarms on the ship started sounding, so we had to go to general quarters in full mop gear. All right, so not to tote the tinfoil hat too far, but the chemical weapon sensors on the ship are not manually they're not manual. They're automated. If it senses a certain amount of chemical agent in the air, the alarms will start sounding and the decon system will actually start going off on the ship. Well, full decon measures were taking place. We had to enter full mop gear. Right, so they knew where we were, and they never said if this was ever. We don't know if it was a false alarm. We don't know if it was failure of equipment. We don't know if any other ship had the same incident. But for 2 nights in a row, while we sat there and float in a minefield, waiting to get all the mines cleared, our chemical weapons alarms went off. So, tinfoil hat off now? Don't know.
That
But-
seems like quite the experience. I'm sorry you guys had to go through that.
Well,
So,
but
do you
I'm
think-
wondering if this is the reason why they can't find my medical records.
Well, I think it. I personally believe that it's not a unique event.
No,
You know, it's there's multiple different scenarios: burn pits, Agent Orange, what you just mentioned. Um, that there do seem to be common denominators, but it happened more than just one place. So,
right.
you know, a pattern seems to be there. Do
Right.
you think who owned these mines? Were they our
They
mines?
were-
Were they someone else's mines?
No, they were Iraqi mines
Oh, so
because
Russian,
the
basically.
minesweepers had gone in front of us and cleared. We were cleared to go through, and then the Princeton hit a mine. Everyone came to a halt. We went to flight quarters immediately to get helicopters in the air to see what was going on, to get a bird's eye view. And as you know, we started receiving the injured and personnel from the Princeton just in case she started to go down. The helicopter pilots were reporting that we were in a massive minefield, which had just gone. The minesweepers had just gone through the night before. So within 24 hours, they had been out there.
Reseeded.
Reseeded the area.
Interesting.
Right.
So do you think there was something in those mines, a chemical agent?
No, I don't think so because when they had DOD come through and DOD was saying, if the mine's close enough to you, if you can hit it with a we were shooting M14s back in the time, but if you can hit it with an M14 at a couple hundred yards away, do it. As long as it's not going, DOD will come through and take care of the mines that are immediately near the ship. They'll tow them away and then they'll detonate them away from the ship. But nothing went off that day. No, in any of the mine explosions that took place, no chemical weapons. It all happened at night. It was both times. It was like 0 dark 30 when the alarms went off.
Yeah.
No vampire was ever called. Nothing was ever reported of a missile being in the air. The only one time that I know that there was an actual missile threat to any ship, that was to the Wisconsin when she was fired upon. But they said that was a conventional weapon.
Okay.
But there was nothing was ever said that we were being fired upon. So I don't know for a fact.
I'll be right back in 1 second. I'm going to mute myself for a second.
All right.
Okay.
So I don't know for a fact if what we were running into or what we were dealing with was true. It could have been a false alarm. I mean, back then the chemical weapon sensing system could have been faulty.
Maybe.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
It gets salt air. I mean, it gets salt encrusted in it. Shit happens. We know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that could explain it because salt is a part of like electrolysis, right?
Right. And so the other part that I thought was funny later on here when they called me or sent me a letter saying that I qualified for the burn pit trials is I'm like, I was on board ship. I was never near a burn pit. So, and then when I called and said, hey, I received this letter. They're like, yeah, because your battle group was in the plume of the oil fires, you qualify for the burn pit trials.
Okay.
So, but that didn't make sense because the burn pits had to do with burning feces.
Yeah. Yes.
So why would we qualify for a burn pit trial for burning feces when we had nothing to do with? We were never even near feces. It was all just the toxic smoke from the oil wells.
Well, what's funny is, they invented the cigarette after the burn pit, right? And then found out about all the carcinogens. Oh, wait, no, that happened before the burn pits. It's funny how, they just magically forget burning shit makes bad shit.
Right.
Hold on right quick. Let's see. Caveman Look was asking you, I believe you said the M14. They were wanting to know what year you were using that M14.
The M14 was from 1989 to 1993.
Okay.
The Navy did not shit when we were still shooting M14s and 45s when I got out, even though the 9mm was being rolled into the infantry and the Marines.
Mhm.
We were still using the good old fashioned heavy hitters.
I got
Hey,
in
I got nothing bad to say against the M14. That was a
Oh,
sweet
yeah.
weapon.
Yeah.
She packed quite the punch.
The I'm trying to remember. I think it's the M4 that they're using now in the Army.
Yep.
Yeah. So I got in just in time to train on the M16 and be issued a saw gun, which I never got to fire. So they gave me an M4 instead. I was begging, give me the M16 back. Can I go buy a gun and use it instead? Can that be my my self-issued weapon? I hated the M4. It's a garbage gun. The only thing it had on the M16 was it was lighter. It had comparable range, comparable effective range, but it's really prone to misfire. It's just not a safe gun. We actually had a guy killed on post at the range, supposedly because the M4 misfired.
Pop no kick.
Well, I see. It was one of those. Of course, everybody that was actually at the range, I didn't get to go, or rather, I was given the option, and I elected not to go. But everyone that was there was immediately sworn to silence until after the investigation, and I left before the investigation was done. But personally, I think. I think, and Jay, the M4 is not an M16, by the way. But I'll touch on that in a second. I think he was murdered, personally. I've got really nothing to base that on other than the whole thing was fishy as fuck, which, I mean, military was in charge of the investigation. But there was people were saying they went downrange. They were firing full auto, which technically they're not supposed to do. I'm personally in favor of it because if you're going to give somebody a gun that's full auto, they should know how it feels. They should know how to operate it in full auto. It's like the magazine was left in the gun and then laid on the ground. They went down range and somebody ran over and picked it up and then fired 3 shots randomly. And I was like, it doesn't add up. So I don't know. I know the M4 was prone to misfire, so it's possible. I just don't know. Real quick, and then I'll shut up and quit bogarting the mic. The M4 is not an M16. The M16 and the M4 have the AR-15 platform. At some point, Armalite Rifle, which is what the AR stands for, sold the gun, the AR-15 to Colt. Colt made one or two lines of it and then retired it and converted it into a platform. So when you hear people talking about assault rifles, you think of what it looks like. What you're thinking about what it looks like is the AR-15 platform. It's basically makes it easier to add stuff onto your gun, sights, lasers, grenade launchers, whatever.
So I just looked it up because we want to make sure we're doing this right. It says the M4 platform is a shorter carbine length assault rifle based on the M16.
Yeah, yes, it is. It is loosely. It's basically supposed to be a lightweight M16, but something went wrong when they were making it. It's nowhere near as accurate as the M16, although I still managed to qualify off headshots with the M4, so it's not like I couldn't shoot it if I had to.
So,
Real quick, Chris, let me go back up here. Caveman Look asked something a second ago, and I went ahead and addressed that chat. I don't think I got
yeah,
it
I
yet.
heard. I could still hear you.
Okay, that's right. You took your headphones with you. Anyone else got something we want to talk about the VA on?
Did you touch on Dave's comment about perhaps I'm in the minority, but I love the VHA, VBA? I've had several surgeries and several procedures, nothing but top-notch service. I'm 100% PNT, so I guess I'm biased and blessed.
Well, I do think there are some regions that operate how they should, which, you know, if it were privatized would be unfortunate for them because they were doing the right thing and still got punished. So, I mean, I'm happy for people that have found themselves within a good region. There just doesn't seem to be a whole lot of checks and balances that would make that the norm rather than the exception.
Yeah, again, I think they need to somehow make it universal, straight across the board. All VAs have the same.
As the solution, you've got to have two things have to happen. First, the union has to go. The union is the biggest thing standing in most veterans' ways of getting what they want, because it artificially gears the industry to cater to the staff and not the veterans. The second thing that would need to happen is they would need a full and I lost the word. They would need a comprehensive audit federally. Every dollar would essentially need to be tracked. I mean, when you're working with billions, that's virtually impossible, but for all intents and purposes, those dollars would have to be tracked. You'd have to find out where they went, why they went, and then, you know, you could find the people that did that and get them out. But none of that's going to happen unless there's an audit, because unless you just, you know, go scorched earth, there's no way to know who's bad and who's good without doing a comprehensive audit.
Well, hopefully this whole Doge thing dives into that and can get to the bottom of that.
I hope so. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I did direct message the Doge account on X, telling them as much. I also wrote to Trump and briefly mentioned my troubles with the VA, but we'll see. We'll see if he. I don't know for sure if he even read it. I got one of those cards. I don't know where I put it, but I got one of those little personalized cards they like to send out. I want to believe he read the letter himself, but I don't know.
He or one of his kids did.
I hope he did.
Possibly, yeah. We'll see.
All right.
I don't know. Go ahead.
All right.
Okay,
So
Red's going to give us some words of wisdom.
You sexy motherfucker.
Tell us about
you
them
know
lot
it,
losers.
baby. You know it, baby. You need to come see me. I got something for you. So, I've been sitting here listening to y'all stories about having to get records this, records that. I'm the exception to the rule, because before I left the military, I checked out personnel, medical, dental, and every other thing I had and made copies of it.
Yes.
I've
yes.
got the
was my
microfiche. I have got every x-ray the military has ever done on me.
You've got stuff on microfiche?
Yes.
That is cool. That is awesome.
So the problem with that is, when's the last time you seen a microfiche machine?
On TV.
Exactly.
Libraries.
24.
So
Public-
24, yeah.
Public libraries have them.
So when I did my service, when I did my separation thing through the VA, there's back problems. I was a jet engine type, Airedale type. So I'm wearing hearing aids. I've got knee problems, back problems, and some other problems that are documented. I've got them where they surgically reconstructed both ears, trying to help my quote unquote hearing problem, to where it's now I keep an ear infection. I can take antibiotics. As soon as antibiotics runs out, it comes right back. Okay.
My dog had that issue.
And I've got my ear's still weak to this day. I cannot wear in the ear hearing aids because of this. I have a implant behind my ear that my hearing aid, my cochlear, snaps to.
Mhm.
All this was done out of my pocket and my insurance, because VA said, nope, we're not. No, you don't qualify. I get 10% VA disability right now based on agoraphobia. Now, granted, Chris will tell you he's been with me out in public. I don't do crowds of people. I can't ride an elevator if there's more than 3 people in it. I don't do movie theaters. I drive a truck for a living because I can't do people things very long.
Right.
So I have everything documented, and they still want to stick to this. I can't even take the meds that the psychiatrist gave me for the agoraphobia and do my job. And I have been through a 55-gallon drum of different meds, trying the one that fits me. And the VA is no help. I've hired, well, let me rephrase that. I've had 3 or 4 VA representatives. I've had as many outside agencies try to help me, and I have already been through 2 lawyers.
That's ridiculous.
And they're all, and the VA is still saying there is no way. I have the proof in my hand. So you know what? I'm to the point now I don't give a shit. And it's sad because I don't want nothing that's not owed to me or due to me. And because of my income and occupation, they don't think I'm disabled.
Yes.
I wish they could go to bed with some of the nightmares I wake up with. I have stood up in the middle of bed and knocked off all the blades off a ceiling fan. I've had people grab me in the middle of the night, and it's caused me multiple divorces.
I'd snuggle you.
I bet you would, sexy bastard.
I'd be better off than with one of them lot lizards.
I actually pinned one ex to the wall, and I mean, I was swinging for the bleachers before she finally got me to wake up and realize who I was, where I was, and what I was.
Oh.
I've only had one person. Well, I've only had one person who knew how to.
What are you doing?
I don't know if she knew how. She just, anyway, could bring me out of it. Saw the triggers. I mean, I had a service dog out of my pocket because I couldn't get the VA to help with it. Unfortunately, he got killed right in front of me, and that still scars me. And I've tried to. I I actually got a second dog, but had to give her up for a number of different reasons. There's nothing wrong with the dog. It was more I was too attached to the other one, and I didn't feel comfortable.
So it wasn't a peanut butter allergy?
No. I think it was the weed. I think I got some hold of Mike's bad stash. But you guys have got way more. Well, my dad told me best advice he ever gave me: when you separate, you make copies of every single thing. I even checked my x-rays out of medical, said, hey, I'm going over from the clinic to the hospital. I need these x-rays, and I just never returned them.
That was my biggest failure.
So I've got all this, and they're still telling me I don't qualify. I don't think they want to pay me what I'm owed. I have lost several jobs because of my I don't want to call it a condition, my disposition.
Right.
Then I screwed up, went back to Iraq as a civilian contractor. I've been through the burn pits, and I don't care who knows it right now because I have pictures of it. I can show you containers slammed full of chemical agents labeled that we hauled out of underground hangars, bunkers, other places. So now what all those chemical agents were, I don't know. I have a suspicion. Was not allowed to ask too many questions, but yeah, I've seen it. I've done it, burn pits and all. And I think that's a lot of it is because I was subjected to that. They want to attribute it to that as a civilian, as this as a service member.
That's unconscionable.
So yeah, I'm just I'm so disgruntled when it comes to the VA. I have given up. I'm done.
It's really unfortunate, man. We shouldn't.
Please.
This shouldn't be how we're getting treated.
I mean, I hear these guys telling me that they can't do this and they can't because they don't have records for this and don't have records for that. I've got the records. I have got the proof. I have got it all documented. And yet I'm the one they just refuse to. It's got to where they don't even want to hear from me anymore.
Yeah. Oh, I know the feeling.
I'm about 10 grand. I'm about 10 grand out of my pocket in attorneys and other fees, trying just to get what I'm owed.
That's insane.
And I can't continue. I cannot financially continue that fight.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're looking for.
Now, so I think if it was to the point I physically couldn't work, couldn't do other things, I might have had a better shot, but I have a good job and I get paid better than most, and I think that's why they figure that I don't need the money. So I believe it's a money thing. If you could hold down a job and you could do this and you could do that, you don't need it.
Yeah.
Right.
I will say one thing. This may be a long shot, but I don't know, where if maybe you could sign up for, receiving articles. I never actually got to speak to the gentleman in question, but I believe it was Trump's pick last term did these town hall conference calls from the VA. And I never could figure out how to bring my thing up, but I heard him time and time and time again. That's not right. I'm going to send you this guy. We're going to get that claim approved for you. No, we'll take a second look. No, non-committal. He straight up said, we're going to get that. As to whether it actually happened, I don't know. Might be worth a shot, though. I would like us all to discuss the Trump's pick for this round for the next VA at some point. But if this guy does what the last guy did, you may come up on an opportunity where you can get on one of those conference calls, tell them what you just told us, and they may be able to hold some people's feet to the fire for you.
I've been to congressmen, I've been to senators, I've been everywhere but Washington D.C. VA office.
They don't care.
You're right.
The VA has fallen so far outside of their oversight. Mike Boss talks about it a lot, but the man won't actually do anything about it. His ranking member is always, "Oh, you silly conspiracy theorists! The VA isn't doing this. What are you talking about? Congress having control?" But the secretary of the VA is part of the cabinet. He reports directly to the president, so Congress can't tell him shit.
Well,
Caveman asked,
I'm done with it.
I have my ID. Caveman says, I have my ID cards, green and red, and weapons cards from the arms I had issued to me. How in the world is that possible?
Sticky fingers.
Bureaucracy.
Ruth said, does that affect getting other types of insurance? Sometimes past medical issues stop you from qualifying for new medical insurance. I mean, like the job you have or seeking it out individually. I think she's asking you that, Fred.
Do what now? Say it one more time.
Does your past issues affect you getting new insurance?
Medical insurance.
Your pre-existing conditions, if you were to
Yes.
apply for private insurance.
Well, I have private insurance because I'm an owner-operator contractor. But they've
Okay.
never asked me. They've never asked me for any of that. They know about it, but when it's because it was open enrollment. I mean, I have Blue Cross Blue Shield Tennessee now, and they didn't ask me nothing.
Cool.
And Gravy said, yep, up to the U.S. Senate talking about making changes to the oversight of the VA, I believe.
They're oversight in name only. They don't actually do anything, but hold up the status quo. But I mean, bottom line, if they fix the VA, they're essentially out of a job. I mean, they could still sit there and make sure they don't fuck up, but they're clearly not interested when it is a problem. Why would they be interested when it's not?
Sounds like they need a standard policy across the board.
I agree.
Because this VA will say yes, this VA will say no.
Yeah. I feel like the good ones are ignoring a lot of what comes down from federally from the VA.
Well, I've had help from the American Legion trying to get some of this stuff settled out, and still just nothing.
That's insane, dude. I'm so sorry you're going through that. It's rough. It is.
I mean, I go to a restaurant, I sit with my back to the wall. I have to sit. I have to watch. I have to be able to see the front door. I need to see who's coming in, who's going out. If I can't, I will literally just. I will sit there and I'll shake like a leaf. I won't last 5 minutes and I have to go outside. I've had to excuse myself from family gatherings, people I know and trust.
It's insane.
I just want to throw this out here because we have quite a few veterans in the chat as well that we've never talked to before. We have started a nonprofit that I want to throw out here to you guys. It's called Bridging Pathways for a Better Life. We are a fledgling. We don't have money to do any kind of financial help right now. But we're working on that as well as other things. So if you're interested in that information, You can join our Discord. We talk about it all the time on there. We do have a website. Let me type that in here for you. There's
And
the
we need
website.
volunteers in your areas.
Yep,
I'm
we
still
need
here,
lots
guys.
of volunteers. So if anybody's, no, you're fine, bud. You know, we are trying to make life better for you all. And we always can use some help and insight. So please come over, join the Discord, hang out with us, talk with us, and you know, you have it's a good community. So
A lot of good people.
Caveman
in
says
there.
I always sit with my back. Caveman says I always sit with my back to the door and look for all exits. Yep.
I'm the
It's a
one who will
security
walk
thing,
in.
I'm sure.
Well, I'm the one who will walk into a store and I'll be watching the glass and the door to see who's behind me. I'm the one who will walk with my head down. You think I'm looking at my feet? I'm looking for shadows coming up behind me. I can't stand in the checkout line. When Walmart went to close at 11 o'clock, you know, I'm the fucker was in there at 2 a.m. doing my grocery shopping, so I didn't have that problem.
Walmart at 3 a.m. It's the most magical place on earth. Fuck Disney.
Next to the Waffle House on Friday night when the bars close.
Right. Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm that nervous of a person.
Man.
Yeah, the wife and I have code words. If I'm ever put in a position where I can't see anybody coming up behind me, she'll use the word thunder. So that way I know there's somebody coming. Because I almost put a knife in a waitress one time at a restaurant. The woman came right up behind me. Unfortunately, the wife wasn't paying attention, and it's not her fault. But the woman came up, grabbed me right by the shoulder, scared the ever living shit out of me. And my first thought was to fucking grab a knife and fucking put her down. Scared the fucking piss right out of me.
Man. Bet it scared her too, huh?
Yeah, especially when she saw her butter knife.
Man.
Hey,
I'll be
butter
like,
knife
"I'll
hurt
butter
just
your
like any other
biscuits."
knife when they're stuck in you.
Right?
Well,
you know, butter knife would be a little bit more personal because it hurts a little bit more than a sharp knife.
Well, yeah. For
Because
sure.
it tears instead of cutting, slicing.
What's the matter, boo?
I know people who have actually been stabbed by butter knives. And it was their brother that did it to them.
The only, I'm lucky. The only things I've stabbed myself with were a big ass kebab skewer and a pencil. Or than
I
that,
can't
just
tell you how many
little
times
nicks
I've
and
been
cuts
stabbed.
here.
Don't mind me, I'm
Man.
just getting dinner out.
Oh, you're good. I done ate all my pizza. Otherwise, I'd probably be heating some up right now.
I appreciate y'all
splurged a
hanging
little
out
bit.
with us, and
Yeah.
I hope that you guys had a good time hanging out and talking. Hopefully, you got some good ideas out there.
Have any of y'all looked at this Doug Collins, the guy that Trump is putting up for Secretary of the VA?
Not as of yet, no.
I'd be very interested, and we can have this discussion in the Discord later. I'd be very interested in getting people's thoughts on him. From what I can tell, I think he has the best voting record I've seen. But I've not been legitimately politically active for too terribly long, so it's not like I've done a deep dive on a lot of people. But he's definitely better than what's his name?
Patch McKean?
No, it's one of the Republicans, one of the rhinos.
Yeah. That's who I'm talking about too, Dan Crenshaw.
Oh, Patch McCain.
Yeah, that's what I call him.
Yeah, we don't even need to discuss him.
Yeah.
That's a
No,
letdown and a half.
You know,
The thing is,
he might have a good voting record, but when you're outvoted, you're outvoted. So how much clout is he? How's he gonna? How much weight is he gonna carry?
Well, I could be wrong on this, but it has been my understanding to date that if the Secretary of the VA so wishes, he can mandate the VA on his own. It would be policy. Policy comes from within, regulation comes from without. I'll say this in my personal experience, which only accounts for 1 out of how many enrolled in the VA. I got to 70 a little quicker than others, but I got to 70 while Trump was still in office. It was another 3 years after fighting after that before I got up to 80. And we're on like denial 8, maybe.
I have been battling my case since 1989.
Yeah, it's insane.
Jay
Yeah, I don't know.
Jay said, "I wish when Walmart was open 24/7, they had Waffle Houses in them." Oh my God,
Right?
that would be fucking great. And then he also said Trump made good changes to the VA the first round. Hopefully, he does again this time around.
Until the next guy steps in, then we're back to being fucked.
Right.
Caveman says, "Don't know how I found myself here. I am just an old angry Marine about the water, and the VA overlooks us. I will step away now." Hey, Caveman, I'm glad you're here.
We're glad you're here too.
Hopefully you subscribe. Jump on the Discord and hang out with us and talk. And it's okay to be angry and upset about stuff.
And we have
around
plenty of
people
crayons
that
for you.
Understand.
We're usually not this angry. We're more or less slinging shit most of the time, but
I'm always
Yeah,
My,
you
angry,
always get on here
that's
and
because
talk,
it's in
but
my handle.
my shit slinging adversary didn't show up.
Oh no.
well, I didn't send her a link because we already had a full panel.
Ugh.
But
Sorry. Got a hair in my mouth.
Gravy said out of 60%, even though I was medically retired, took 9 years to get 100%.
See, I don't
Just
understand
absolutely
that.
ridiculous to me.
How are you medically retired, but yet you don't get 100%?
It's because
should be a-
Ohana's still fighting. Ohana was forced to medically retire from the when he was pushed over to the guard. They forced him out of the guard for medical, and he's still fighting to get 100%.
you've seen
Well,
seen people come down on for trying to be an individual in the military, right? Well, that's basically what the VA is. They have to be an individual. They have to have the most unique way of determining whether somebody needs money or not.
Right?
What I want to know is if 9 years, just as an example, are you back paid those 9 years you're owed?
That would be
I
nice.
don't know. I know. I got back for my SSDI for my disability. I got back paid for the 3 years it took to get.
Or is it only backdated to the year you
asterisk.
started applying for it?
Well, the VA helped me, quote unquote, and they resubmitted a new claim, so I lost $250,000 in back pay because they went from 2019 instead of 2011.
See, that's my point.
Say that one more time. I think I understood what you're saying. Say it one more time just for clarification.
In 2018, I got hooked up with a company and they were trying to get me back pay. And they said that they wanted 30%, and I was thinking up front. So I was a little stressed out about it. So I talked to my counselor, and she's like, "Oh, no worries, we'll help you out. You won't have to pay a dime." Well, I'm not smart enough to realize that they were going to be submitting a new claim and not actually going back to 2011. They only went back to when the VA submitted the new claim. So I lost out on like
Well, that,
200.
see, okay, that's what threw me. The VA does not submit claims. You or your legal representative, i.e., VSO lawyer, y'all are the ones that submit the claim. The VA is the one that plays the fuck games to try and get out of paying the claim.
I think he's saying it was a counselor through the VA that was helping him get
Through the VA?
That's right.
Through the
You were
VA?
saying, Gravy? Yeah. It was a
Yeah,
counselor
that-
he was seeing
yeah.
through the VA.
I wouldn't trust in-house VA representative to do something like that. But,
Yeah.
you know.
Asterisk 101 says, imagine doing away with the VA clinic hospitals and giving access to military and private hospitals and clinics. Think about the money saved.
Oh yeah, we when we did the sound check, we had I've got my 550 cord boom arm here stuck to the ceiling, but yeah, we talked about that earlier when we were doing that. I think that would be a good alternative. Close down the VA hospitals and then just allow anyone that take those specialty clinics like the radiation and the chemical agent specialists and shift them over to the military hospitals, and then people can just go on post for that if they need to. I mean, there would need to be some exceptions made for, like the closest post to me is the JRB in Fort Worth, and then the next closest is Fort Hood, which is about 3 hours away. So obviously there'd be a hurdle to jump in that respect, but I don't think it'd be impossible. How many of these world-class surgeons do you see that work at like 5 different hospitals, and they spend the entire year rotating around these hospitals doing surgeries all over the nation? Why can't they do that well, they do it in the military. You know who doesn't do it? The VA. So,
They said they changed. Go ahead, bud.
Oh no, I was done.
Okay, Jay said they changed back pay now. It only goes back a year or something. It used to be back pay since the day it was filed. And then he said, that beard is awesome, Gravy. we like our beards here, as you can see.
Yeah, I think it's
Son of a
max. Will give
bitch.
you max. Will give you his 3 years back pay.
They better not. I better get every goddamn dollar I'm fucking owed. Otherwise, there's gonna be hell to pay.
Boy, let me get my back pay from the 80s,
You
of
absolutely
1990.
should. If they want to quit hemorrhaging money, stop doing fucked up shit.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
Yeah, their chances of getting hurt would be a whole lot less.
Well,
Fred, the only problem with your back pay is when you got out, they weren't carving money out of rocks.
shit.
Hey, I'm gonna look.
Thanks,
more into
Boats.
it
I
later.
love you too.
Jay, where did you hear that about only going back a year? Where did you hear that they changed it?
I got that from my VSO, or the VSO that I've since dropped because he won't do shit for me. He said that they would only go from the time you submitted the claim. They will only go back 3 years.
Sounds like you need to find a new VSO. I mean, you
Sounds
only
like they're
have
getting
one.
a cut it.
You only
Sounds
have
like they're
one
getting
VSO.
Sounds like they're
But-
getting a cut out of what they save.
Yeah.
No, I have a new contact that I got to get a hold of that I'm hoping that'll help me out better than this local VSO.
If all
You can
else
al-
fails, call up CCK, Chisholm and Kilpatrick. They're the ones representing me right now. But they've been real good to me. I mean, we're still in the 2-year waiting period for it to get on the docket at the Board of Appeals. But they have just, I mean, they have gone above and beyond up till now. So
I was
I'm
going to
Now,
say you could also
let me-
try the state VSO.
yes. I don't know about. I was told. I've been told since I got out. Well, you need to go to the VSO. Well, they'll fight for you like a bulldog. I've never met a VSO like that. Every single one.
Yeah,
Oh,
fight
well,
to
all we
stick
do
it up your
is
butt and break it off.
file paperwork. We just make sure the paperwork's filed correctly. Yeah,
They don't even do that.
Just touching on the back pay.
Okay.
Yeah.
As of May 19th of 2023 is where this is. It says VA Claims Insider says there is no ceiling or backstop for VA disability back pay.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I mean, I wouldn't put it past
That's-
the Biden administration to pull a stunt like that before they leave. So that's why I wanted to kind of look at it. That's definitely something that if it even catch a whiff, think it's even remotely possible. It's worth keeping an eye on.
Well, that just goes to show you my VSO was talking shit.
Yeah, I think so.
Now, Jay might have found something newer than that, but that's when I did a
Possibly.
search. That's what I found. So that's all I'm going off of is what I'm saying here.
Fair enough. I suppose we'll see. I mean, granted, I'm sure that something like that would be simple enough for Trump's administration to rectify. That's the thing about the VA. They're what's the word? They're
Shit.
liquid. They're water. They conform to the shape of the government. And they've done that since their inception, much like the FBI. But it's if the government doesn't have values, the VA doesn't have values. It's that simple.
Wow.
As a general rule of thumb, obviously there's rules to every exception. There's exceptions to every rule, but it's more. It's like the old saying, all that's necessary for evil to succeed is good men do nothing. It's the same principle with the VA. It's more enticing to be corrupt. It's more profitable in the short term. Oops.
Whoops.
Hey,
That
now
went
people are
bad
moving
quick.
again. Now people are moving again. Something fucking locked up here. I don't know what the hell's going on, but we're back now. It seems.
Yeah, we lost our guest.
There we go.
I think he's coming back. Oh, maybe not. Maybe.
Something's going on.
Remember not.
Yeah, I don't
Try it
know.
again.
Man. Sorry, y'all.
That's all right. I'll stay off camera for now. I mean, I'll turn it on, but actually here, I'll just do that.
There you go.
It's not as good, but it works.
So, I want to set up more of these panels to talk about stuff. So, if you guys have comments
Yeah.
or questions or whatever, let us know so we can set up a panel and get people on here and have a good time talking and carrying on. And if anybody wants to join us for our normal show where we just act like idiots and carry on and laugh and
pretty
sometimes
good
we'll
at that.
talk about something serious, but For the most part, we just have a good time. That's what we try to do. Try and take people's minds off of the shit that's going on in the real world for a little bit.
And if you're easily offended, don't bother showing up.
I'm
Yeah, 'cause
offended
I'll
that you
offend
think
you.
I'd be offended.
I'm telling you, it gets a little sketchy.
Well, I've always told. See, I don't think I ever really made it past being a steering wheel holder, but I did try and learn to truck at one point. I made the mistake of going through Swift. So, when people look at me and be like, all the stories are true, by the way. All the jokes, they're not jokes, they're real stories.
I grew up in shipping.
Yeah, but anytime someone looks at me, I don't mean to weird you out or gross you out or offend you. I tell them I did trucking for a little bit, and then I joined the world's largest locker room, the Army. So it's very hard to offend me.
Yeah. And boats, dude. Sometimes I need you, man. Core gets ganged up on me, then some of the others gang up on me, and I've been holding my own so far. But
I'm back, baby.
I don't gang up on anybody.
I got you.
okay,
I'll be your weighted blanket.
be my bitch.
Heck yeah.
No, I'll be your weighted blanket.
Okay, I just need a hug every now and then.
Oh, you'll definitely get a hug.
Maybe I
From
should
behind.
get into a weighted blanket.
That hug may come from behind, though.
Hey, as long as I get a reach around,
At the very
I'm
least,
sure.
right?
toss me a salad. I don't care. Just do something. Make me feel warm, all warm and fuzzy. I'm good.
I need some support here.
No, me and Boats are probably the only two squids, and they really get on to us sailors.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I got my dad real good. He was in the Air Force. He got to do PMEL. He basically took what he could get and met his goal. He got it. He slowly networked and made his way into PMEL. But I got him real good. He said something about not doing PT one day, and I asked him, "Oh, was it raining?"
Damn.
At one point, I got him real good with the whole chair force instead of the Air Force.
Well, I tell you, I was ROTC in high school, and I almost went in the Air Force, but I couldn't find a purse to match my shoes.
Right. Man, I wish ROTC had been available where I went to school. Home Ec wasn't even available where I went to school, and I went to school before they basically got rid of it in all the schools.
Isn't home ec ROTC for the Air Force?
Probably.
Ouch.
I don't know. As good as those some bitches had it, sometimes I wish I'd joined the Air Force.
Right?
I mean,
now the Air Force wishes they were in the Space Force, don't they?
Yeah, see, that was dumb. I don't know why he did that. He should never have made the Air Force. It's just the Air Force can't handle something like that.
Well, they're trying to get as far away from their progenitor, the Army, as they possibly can.
Right, but I call me biased, but I still think the Space Force should have been under the guides of a naval type. I mean, because they're flying ships, they're not flying aircraft.
Well, imagine if Elon Musk had been part of the Trump platform the first time.
Right.
Space Force probably would have been put under him.
Right.
I don't know. Is there still such a thing as a Space Force now?
Oh yeah, it's still fucking loud, proud, and queer as ever.
Has anybody seen that movie with Steve Carell? Because that's what I imagine
Michelle,
Space Force
yes.
to be.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
that is probably the greatest version
my
of
God.
Space Force.
It is so hilarious, dude. I cannot. I find myself laughing so hard I can't even breathe. Pretty.
Wasn't it
regularly.
like a mini series or something that had 4 or 5
Yeah.
episodes tested? I
They
wish
got-
they'd have
Yeah,
come.
they never brought it back.
They got sued by the government.
Really?
Yeah. Well, which is weird because the government. It was funny because the government. Turns out later the government had to sue them. I mean, they weren't like required by law to sue them, but per se, but they had to sue them, otherwise they were going to lose the name Space Force.
Oh,
That's how stupid our law is nowadays. The government has to sue a private company to keep a name of one of their branches of the military, or allegedly branches of the military.
To me, that was like McHale's Navy and Gomer Pyle and what was that other one? That movie with Andy Griffith and Don Knotts, No Time for Sergeants.
Yeah.
Right.
Or Stripes.
Stripes. There you go. Stripes.
Oh.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Stripes was so good. What was the
You know what's
one-
funny? Side note on Stripes. You know when all of them got their heads shaved and except those two. John Candy. What his head was not supposed to be shaved, and they shaved it anyway. And he went into such a depression, he almost got kicked out of the movie.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it really upset him tremendously.
What was that show where they were in a prison camp? It was like-
Hogan's Heroes?
Yes. Oh, that was. a
That's
good
still
one, too.
funny as fuck.
Hell yeah.
I
it
know
is.
Pauly
Nothing.
Shore. What was the one Pauly Shore was in? I'm in the
in the army now.
army now.
Waterboy.
Waterboy. No, that was
Oh, water.
That was Adam.
That was Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, but the greatest thing about Hogan's Heroes, that set was also used for filming Ilsa the She-Wolf of the SS.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
But you know, they did it after they tried to redo a series after the war with Hogan's Heroes cast.
Yep.
And I saw like 1 or 2 of those, and they canked the whole thing.
Mm.
So if anybody doesn't know, Ilsa the She-Wolf of the SS was probably one of the greatest World War II porns ever made in the 1970s.
I did not know Bob Crane. I mean, he was a man's
freak.
man back in the day. He was all wrapped up in porn and everything else. And they say he shot himself, but I'm not so sure about that.
No, I don't think he did. I think somebody did it for him.
Yeah. Disgruntled employee or something.
Right?
Bob Crane had some weird fetishes, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a vert for sure.
That 8mm movie, wasn't that made about him?
No, that was about
No.
child pornography.
Yeah, that's one of the movies I can't watch, along with Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom.
I just
I mean, obviously the premise is what it is, but they were really good about not going overboard. You know, cutting when they need
Welcome
to
back,
cut,
Thomas.
and not showing anything too super traumatic.
I don't know. I didn't
Bruce
last
said-
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Bruce said, "Do you watch these movies and pick out the stuff that isn't done right?" Just wondering.
Sometimes.
Well,
Yeah.
and with me and my military experience, I could pick Top Gun apart,
Oh yeah.
and I try not to. But I'm so ready for Top Gun 3.
Well, let's be honest. The Top Guns would not have been what they were without Tom Cruise and Iceman.
Right.
Kilmer.
Yeah, they made those movies.
I've been to that school. I mean, I was not a participating pilot, but I was a backseater observer, and it was. Yeah, there's a lot of that shit that just don't really happen. But hey, whatever. It looked good on the camera, on the cinema.
Right?
That's all that matters to them is they make money off of it.
That's
Well,
right.
the Cobra maneuver he does in Maverick.
Yeah.
There is supposed to be. It'll have to wait until I've got like a full blown setup. But at some point, I may buy Ace Air Combat 7 again. There's supposed to be a way messing with
What
the settings.
platform is that on?
I think it's on all of them.
See, I played Ace Combat all the way up to 6.
Yeah, 7 was fun. I never beat it. But there's supposed to be a way you can monkey with the settings with the Thrustmaster, the joysticks.
Yeah.
And well, they're not really joysticks, but one of them is. But there's supposed to be a way you can monkey with the settings and have enough control over it. You're supposed to actually be able to do that maneuver. I'd be interested in trying to capture that.
Well, you know where that one MiG went up and just basically stalled and turned and come back at them. I've actually watched. Wasn't in the airplane, which I would have loved to be in, but I watched that event take place, and that'll puck you up your pie hole quick.
Yeah, that's 90% of my mid-air maneuvers on that game is push it to stall, fall to the ground, and at the last minute pull out. I mean, guarantee you I couldn't do it in real life, but still fun.
When I started out,
so see you later.
I started out as a mechanic on helicopters. Went to A7s as a ground crew. Then I went to F-18s when they were transitioning. Got multi-system qualified and wound up going to AOCS over it. But leading up to that, I had a friend of mine who used to run the simulator, and I used to go over to simulator building and just tear that thing up against some of those instructors. I mean, some of those boot pilots coming in, and man, it'd eat them up. The daggone enlisted guy tore them apart.
Yes, they even added a Maverick add-on that's supposed to automatically do the settings in Ace Combat.
I'll have to. Oh, that's good. I need to remove that little number from the name.
You're a little muffled.
Jesus, Monetti. I've been sitting here 5 hours waiting, backed in this door waiting to load.
Oh, you're waiting to load? You've been waiting to load this whole time? That is such garbage. Are they unionized?
I don't know about this place. I'm picking up long neck bottles for Coors.
Ah. Like that?
Is it snowing down here?
Is that long neck?
Yep, that would be a long neck.
Yep, that'd be the one.
I'll just buy them and drink them. I don't know what they're called.
Mike just stopped
no,
on.
it's not snowing yet.
Mike just jumped on. He said, "Thank you to all the veterans. Be blessed. Be free."
Thank you, Mike.
They still think I'm going to Dallas Fort Worth tomorrow.
If I can cut that hole bigger and put my old window unit in there, I can heat this room without the central heating.
Huh.
Then I might be able to do something like this more often.
Get one of those little diesel heaters like Chris got.
Yeah, I got one. I just have to get it put in. I'm doing that tomorrow, by the way. So I won't be doing any shows tomorrow. I'm taking the
Fair
day
enough.
off to get some stuff done around here.
So what you're
Well,
saying is
I normally
there,
take Saturdays off. But
there won't be any shows for me to miss.
no, not tomorrow. Unless I get the heater in and I just decide I want to sit out here for a couple hours just to see how it works.
Oh, did I tell you I I ran into yet another problem on that sink?
Oh no.
Here, I'll send you a picture. It was supposed to be something stupid. It was like, this is the last thing that I wanted. I didn't necessarily have to do it, but the part that goes into the wall that the P-trap connects to, they slid it into the copper coming out of the wall and taped the fuck out of it. And I didn't trust the tape, so I wanted to cut the tape off, sand it down, and put a new fitting on it. Well, nobody carries fittings for the 1 1/4 inch P-traps, just the 1/2 inch. So let me send this to you right quick,
Oh my.
and you can post it on here if you want. I'll show you how I got around it. Well, it was my dad that found the part, but I could have found my way to it eventually if I'd been looking for it. There you go. Should be in your inbox.
I'm gonna give you one warning about that. If that's like that, really is that plastic shit?
No, it's very, very thick rubber.
Okay, because I've tried the plastic shit that looks like that, and really hot water just melts right the fuck through it.
Yeah. No, this is pretty thick. It's I forget what it's actually used for. So I actually
Pressurized
for
hosing.
for years, I think it's for pressurized shit, which the drain is not under pressure, so won't be an issue either way. But for years, I have. Well, let me tell you it in a story format. My family, or at least the males, it's hereditary. We see something, we got to pick it up, we got to hold it, we got to play with it. And so I was giving my uncle a ride one day, and he just started digging through my glove box, and he pulled out a bottle of personal lube, and he's like, "What is this for?" And I looked him dead in the eye, and I said, "Vacuum hoses." And he kind of laughed, and then he looked at me. He's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's water-based, so it'll evaporate, and it actually makes it easier to pull them off next time you have to find yourself needing to pull them off. So I tried it on there.
It doesn't degrade it.
Right, exactly. No, nothing caustic in it. So I used that to try and get that on. Unfortunately, I was only able to get it on far enough to be able to get a tight clamp down on it. But yeah, so
Man, this
working on my
conversation
speed.
goes so many different directions.
I know. Moral of the story is I worked on my bathroom
Always keep
sink
some lube with you.
with personal lube and a rubber mallet.
Can't
Pound
get
that
it
son
off.
of a bitch in there.
Hell.
Pound it in there. Sounds like a boat trick.
Spit on it once and start jamming.
That's right.
Needless to say, it turns out it works better on vacuum hoses.
Well, now and I'm gonna tell you a story. Now that we're talking about vacuum hoses, I was working on a
I thought you
car.
were going to say now that we're talking about lube.
No, I'm leading into that, but it's not lube. Me and a friend of mine was working on a car, and we were working on the vacuum advance for his choke, I think. Vacuum advance for something. Anyway, and couldn't get the hose over the little fitting. This son of a bitch blows his nose in a handkerchief, runs that hose around in that daggum handkerchief, and slides that sumbitch right up on there. I said, "Are you kidding?" I said, "Are you kidding me?" He goes, "It fit, didn't it?" I couldn't argue with them. I couldn't argue with the process.
Asterisk 101 says it's always in the toolbox in KY.
Hey, you still have my sockets, I think. You still have 2 of my sockets. I need those back.
No, Asterisk's one of your friends. I must have missed that connection earlier.
He's the one I was telling y'all I lived with for a while.
Okay, cool.
Nice
to meet you, Asterisk.
Yeah.
You need to drag him over onto Discord with us.
Yeah, I'll shoot him the link. Or can I? Do I have privileges to invite?
Should.
It should be open to anybody.
Okay. Yeah, I'll shoot him a link. He's got some
Brad, your
pretty
face
run
is blinking.
stories himself.
I'm
My head.
S's. I got this idiot with his headlights on me, so the dock door back there, the light on the dock door is what you see.
Okay.
Oh, gotcha. The what do they
Mike
call them?
said that's not
Guide
right.
lights or something.
The red-green button.
Yeah, the one where it tells you if you're locked on, and if you try to fucking drive off when it's red, it rips your back bumper off of your trailer, or it's supposed to anyway.
Just because they're
Well, I've never
blinking.
I've never tested the theory, so I wouldn't know.
Well, I think I know a Swift driver that tried that once when I was working.
I told you all the stories are true.
Every one of them.
Yeah.
Swift is
I
not
got-
very
believe me.
swift.
No, they're government.
You don't believe me? Go to Bonehead Truckers.
Company drivers, anyway.
Asher
Yeah,
told you to check your phone, Yeti.
Oh.
Mike said that's not right. Laugh out loud.
All right.
I like to fell out when he did that.
Is this what's it called? That place we went?
Which place? The Discord?
You'll have to tell me. We went to a brewery at one point.
Oh,
They had some pretty
Nice.
good beer.
like a microbrewery?
No, it was a big ass brewery. But they made a ton of, like, they're always introducing new flavors. Or at least they were. I don't know. Maybe COVID did them in. This is. Oh, there we go.
I went to the Busch Gardens to the hospitality room one time when I was waiting to unload because I needed to use the bathroom. And they would let you sample. Yeah, I had to do a 10-hour break.
They will let
Sample
you
that much,
sample.
Yeah, they give you little samples of all the different beers.
Come
I
on,
was a
big
sample
mug.
motherfucker.
I just sent you what
I'll
he
take-
sent me, Chris.
Alright, let me go see here. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. It says Hop Fusion DD214, brewed in honor of all those who serve past, present, and future.
Who makes that?
Who makes that?
Hop Fusion looks like.
Yeah, Hop Fusion Ale Works, Fort Worth, Texas. I'll
Yeah.
have to see if I can get some of that shipped up here.
I'm fixing to go down there.
Okay.
We got some pretty good breweries down here.
I got to go to
I
Miller
mean-
Brewing in Fort Worth.
Assumption of guilt has been legalized in Texas, but the beer's good.
We have lots of microbreweries around here.
You know, we did the what do they call it? The like distillery tour or something. I was stationed at Fort Campbell.
Pub crawl?
Lucky you.
Well, no, it wasn't a pub crawl. It was distilleries. It might have been called a distillery crawl.
Up there in Hopkinsville?
In Clarksville.
Yeah, well, it's right there at Hopkinsville.
Yeah, it's near. It's near. I think maybe one of the ones we went to was actually in Hopkinsville. But they had some pretty good. We went through. My parents came up for Thanksgiving, and we went around to all those distilleries in the area. They were all owned by different people, but they worked out a deal together where they give you a card and they stamp your card, and once you've gone to all of them, the last one you go to gives you each one gives you a shot glass, and the last one you go to gives you. Actually, hold on, let me go grab it. Gives you something to put your shot glass.
Yeah,
on.
so I'm from Nashville, so.
Kerry, you know what they're looking?
Nashville.
It hasn't been fired. So you're kind of lucky on that part.
Right?
Is he still talking?
No, he's walking away. He went to get something.
I was talking to myself. I couldn't find what I was looking for a minute. Yeah, it's made out of a miniature oak barrel that they actually used. They aged stuff in it, and then once it was done, they cut it up and turned it into a stand for your shot glasses.
Sit down, retard.
Whiskey tour. That's what it's
I am
called.
sitting
Whiskey
down, damn it.
There it is.
Yeah, but you weren't the one that was chewing on a fucking shotgun shell that hadn't been fired.
Oh no!
Oh, yeah, that might-
Just give them enough time. You underestimate.
Bring me a shotgun shell.
I had an uncle that told us a story, and he made it a long, drawn out story, and he's talking about a friend of his who decided to put a shotgun shell inside of a pipe that was just big enough for it to go in. He said, and then he hit it with a hammer, and that jerk burned my hand. Come find out he's the one that did it.
That was weird. As soon as I showed that shell, I went off the air.
That's dumb.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Chris is already
That's-
on double secret probation.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
something.
get one more strike, I'm gone, bud.
That's something I'm going to have to look into when I actually get serious about YouTube. Because at some point I'll want to. I'll plan on. I've got about an acre of land that my house sits on, and at the
Well, hold on to it because they're not making any more.
Yeah. One side I'm going to build an auto shop on with the lift and everything, so I can start working on my cars again with my broken ass. On the other side, I'm going to build
Your mic cut out for a minute there, bud.
I'm gonna on the other side. I'm going to build a miniature firing range so I can break in all my guns, the one I built, the one I bought, and any guns I build or buy in the future. And at some point, I want to put some of that on YouTube as well.
I
Well,
wouldn't advise it.
I'll give you a lesson.
Well,
I'll give you a lesson. You can't pull any guns out on live streams. None.
oh no.
Ain't that
No. That's not
Right
a problem.
boats?
That's not a problem. Trust me,
No.
I have already contemplated.
We're scared to talk about them even.
Considered that factor, and
And,
I will not do it.
secondly, did you see what they did to Hickok? Hickok 45. They yanked almost his entire fucking channel down.
He got it
He
all
had
back
to
though. didn't he?
scramble. He got most of it back. There's still some videos that they won't let come back up.
Yeah.
Thomas says that the scariest thing I show on YouTube is a demented alien. Jay said, I can't find the back pay info. It must have been something they were trying to pass, but it didn't pass. My bad. Hey,
Oh, it's all good,
Jay.
dude. I mean, if even if it's a rumor, dude, throw it out there. Because you know, you never
We'll
know.
look into
It might
and
be
find it, figure
it
it
might
out.
be real. And it's better you're wrong in the information you give us than not to give us information we need to be concerned about.
Welcome back, Jamie. Yeah, I mean, like I always say, we'll find the truth one way or the other.
Yeah. I don't
Hopefully I don't have to. She can't see that, Boats,
Oh, why not?
because that just goes to us on here. Yeah, so I
No,
have to.
what the fuck?
Boats said in your point, Jamie.
Why can't I text everyone else anymore? God damn it!
Yeah, it's you're typing into the.
Anyways, I gotta pull chucks. It's time to eat.
All
Right,
right.
bud. You know what?
You know how to find us.
Ugh.
I just think it's funny I can't go near fucking microwaves anymore.
You guys just
Do what?
Hi,
Hey,
how you doing?
Stay.
how you doing?
You know, I hung this thing here because I was convinced it would not be in my way. I've already almost knocked it off 3 times.
It's because you're not used
Yeah,
to
it
balls
doesn't
hanging in your face.
I guess not. I mean, you know, I'm pretty familiar with the big green weenie,
Not
but
both
Ain't that
balls.
true, Jamie?
Not your
Oh
balls.
damn! Oh damn!
Hi, Fred.
Jamie is a very fine
Should I
connoisseur.
bring Cora in now?
No,
Should I
no.
bring Cora
Yes.
and bring her in now? If Boats was staying, I would, but he's got to go eat. So we'll
Yeah.
do that again. We'll see if we can get him on Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday. Isn't that God's day?
Sunday.
Not in this house.
All right, people.
She ratted your ass out.
No. She actually timed it in pretty good.
That's what I said.
That's
She
funny.
ratted your ass out.
Go have dinner, bro. We'll talk to you later.
All right,
Bye.
peace, love, and trail mix to all you motherfuckers.
Tell the family said hi.
Oh, and bye, Jamie.
Bye, bitch.
Oh
Damn.
damn!
Thomas said later, Sir Boats. By the way, where the hell is Cora? Her 2 favorite men are on here. We had a full panel already, so I didn't send Cora an invite. I didn't know that.
Oh man.
It's all
Yeah.
good.
But we'll get them all on here again, and we'll do
You
our
gotta break
normal
the internet. You gotta
format
break the
of
internet in
fuckery.
slow. I mean,
Right. She's a fickle
Yeah,
bitch.
like
The internet.
like Fred says, you know, start first up to the first knuckle, you know, and then go from there.
Anything up to the first knuckle is not gay.
right?
I bet Astric has a comment on that.
If you need one of those vet gloves goes up your shoulder, yeah, you gay. You flaming.
That's you on boats.
Like one of them
Oh,
cow
shit.
gloves.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
Boats wants you to tickle his tonsils from behind.
I'm just thinking,
Hmm.
if you're wearing a glove that big, you might as well be wearing mop gear.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm willing to
Probably
put Fred
safer.
into a stirrup,
Just make sure you practice safe sex.
right?
Practice safe
Take-
lunch.
take
Use
care of
condoms.
There you go.
Hey, Jamie,
What?
just wanted to make sure you're paying attention.
What?
All right, everyone, have a great night.
All right, man.
Later.
Stay
All right,
warm.
take care, Boats.
Stay warm. Yes, very much so. It's actually a heat wave. It's 30 fucking degrees out right now.
Where you at,
Hey,
was
keep
nice
your ass
today.
in your pants.
Maine.
man? Does it get real
Yes,
cold
but
there?
we don't want
No, it doesn't get cold here in Maine at all.
No.
Well, I've never been to Maine, so I wouldn't know.
You ever
Except
been to
like
the
you
Antarctic?
know.
Buster.
No, but at least
I
it's
mean,
white.
yeah,
year
Asterisk-
round. I mean,
Asterisk needs to come hang out with us more often. He's funny.
yeah, Knuckle Buster.
Yeah,
Oh, of course, Ruth.
we just got out of the teens. It was actually 9 degrees the other day.
Okay. Every great once in a while we'll see that here in Texas, but it's definitely not normal for it to get, say, below like
We even get that
20.
illegal white stuff.
okay. Hunter's favorite
Yep.
nose candy.
Yes.
It washes up on his beaches up there.
I bet they'd have an easier time finding out who the Coke on the beach belongs to than they did in the White House.
They usually do.
I mean, I was under
If
the
they
impression
find Coke on a beach, they just look for any Democrat in the area.
pretty much. I
Thomas
was
says
under the impression that the White House was white because of paint, not nose
Right.
candy.
Thomas
It
says
would be
after
fun.
35 years in, you can drive an HMMV up my ass.
Damn.
Damn.
Talk about big green weenie.
Yeah.
Apparently, they fucked you pretty good, huh, Thomas?
Damn.
I take that as a
Thomas
compliment.
was in-
eight ways to Sunday.
Thomas was in two branches of the service though too.
Ah,
He was a Marine and an Air Force, if I remember correctly, right, Thomas?
Would he get tired of eating crayons?
Yep.
Woo!
Jay said it belongs to who finds it. Isn't that the rule?
Yeah.
I'm going to the
All right.
fucking beach more often.
I mean, if I ever
Right?
find a bag with $1 million in it,
Hey, that was one of the reasons
First thing
why
you
I
do-
always wanted to. Whenever I was running fire calls, I always wanted to go to a crack house because they were never going to complain about their money missing.
yeah, they're not going to call the police.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's
you got there?
supposed to be snowing out.
Fuck off! Don't even use that word. I hate you.
I hope you get I hope you
Everybody
get
fucking hates me. What are you talking about?
a boat.
Oh, shut your mouth, bitch tits.
Oh,
But
damn.
It's right for you, fucker. It's coming right for
Motherfucker, I
you.
hope you get 3 feet of snow.
Suck it.
It's going right for him.
Damn.
Not you, boat's wife. I'm talking about him.
But we're in the same vicinity, so no.
Oh. Well,
Yeah,
love
'cause she
it.
has to clean it up.
Oh,
oh,
The
so
cocaine?
apparently I was wrong. Thomas is just Air Force. My bad.
Oh.
Gotcha.
Okay, so he's not tired of the crayons. He likes the air conditioning.
so do I.
I know you do. All right. Love you all, except for Jamie. Bye.
See you later, bud. We'll talk to you later. Have a good night, buddy.
Damn, Jamie, now you know how I feel when Cora gets on me.
Hey, she missed me. She knows it.
Hey, I'm tell you what, her and Cora together. I need a tag out. I need a WWE tag out partner, dude. It's a freaking Royal Rumble,
Oh, geez. All right.
dude. We've changed the name to build to whatever that damn foundation thing is to SmackDown.
Build a better SmackDown.
Yeah,
Make smash.
sure enough.
We could work on that. All veterans
Love you.
wrestling SmackDown.
Love
thing.
you, boats.
Love you too, dear.
We're gonna hit
Keep your ass in
fucking
your pants.
43 on Monday. We're getting
This
snowed
one
out
time
on
at
Monday.
band camp.
You're not supposed to talk about that.
Woo. I have actual band camp stories, but yeah.
Hey, no, it ain't as funny.
Hi, Cassie. And no, they were interesting, very, very interesting. One thing I can tell you is that when I was my sophomore year, we always played music on the buses on the way to football games, band competitions, all that shit.
Did the wheels go
I'm
round
like-
and round?
Hopefully.
I was thinking the same thing. I just
They
didn't say
did.
it.
They did until we got egged, and then the wheels stopped and we filed out of the bus and threw people down the fucking street. Manheim Township got pissed off because our football team beat them 73-0.
Holy shit.
Right.
Well, that's what
So
you get for
egged
egging.
they egged the band buses as we're leaving. Bunch of pussies. They put in there bridging pathways for a better SmackDown.
You should do that on
Uh,
April 1st.
We have that would be funny. We could change it.
Oh,
Just make it
good
better
lord,
for that.
man.
But so I went out, and back then, this is 93, and we didn't have the shit we have now. Everything was still cassette and CD and AM/FM stereo.
Yep.
So I went out and I bought a Panasonic 50-watt per channel boombox. This motherfucker ate 6 D-sized batteries one way. And so we went to one of the competitions, and our drumline instructor turned us loose. And we were allowed to do this little thing that we were working on with visuals and shit
Right.
as we're on the field. And the rest of the band was so hyped up afterwards. We get back to the buses. The one drum major comes in. He says, "Hey, can we borrow this outside? We want to, do a dance party thing outside." I'm like, "I don't give a fuck what it is." I said, "Just be careful what you play." I said, "Because I'm not getting in trouble because you play stupid shit." We are on a school trip. You break out NWO or fucking 2 Live Crew, I'm getting suspended. But
Luke Skywalker.
face down, ass up, baby. Have you ever heard of them, Jamie? You ever hear of 2 Live Crew?
I'm not. I was laughing at something else.
They were banned in America. They were the one of the reasons why they put out they did the explicit label on on packaging.
Yeah, no
Back
shit.
in the day. I'll have to send you some of their stuff on Spotify. I think you'll get a kick out of it. Maybe.
Yeah.
You'll tell me I'm deranged, one of the two.
I already know you're deranged anyway, so I hang out with you.
It works out. It works out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now they've got this big ass boom box outside. They have it cranked all the way the fuck up. And like the other bands are coming over and starting to dance along with our band, and it was actually kind of a cool moment if you think about it.
Oh,
So, that wasn't a band camp story, that was a band competition story.
right. Closest I came to a band competition was driving to Midlothian and watching my girlfriend do color guard. Of course, I spent most of the time practicing my. I thought I had aspirations to be one of those free runners you doing flips and shit on YouTube. So, that's
One
what I
butt
did,
naked running across the field.
basically. Yeah. Oh wait, no, that's NFL.
You talk about that one guy that runs butt naked across the field? That was your aspiration. Literally your aspiration?
Ass perspiration.
There goes ass one.
We're going to have to label them. Boats' ass 1, Yeti's ass 2.
Tried to get the manager to.
Oh my gosh.
Last time I worked at GameStop, we had 2 Jacobs. He goes, "What are we going to call you?" Because the other Jacob was here first. I said, "Thing 1 and Thing 2." I'm not doing that. You're no fun. Of course, the other one was there on shift with us, and he was all for it. He's like, "I get down with that."
Dumb and Dumber.
It sucks. It sucks when you have two people that are funny and have a good sense of humor and are willing to carry on about something. And then you got a fucking asshole manager that won't go along with it.
In his defense, GameStop. Well, I mean, it's not going to be a problem much longer because they're closing down most, if not all, of their brick and mortar stores. But GameStop corporate is retarded. They just they wouldn't know a joke if it bit them in the nose.
Oh, it'd been even funny if you come to work dressed like that.
Thing one and thing two, right? I guarantee you, if he had gone for that, I don't know. Maybe that's what he was thinking. Maybe he was worried about what would happen on Halloween.
Dr. Seuss in the house.
Hey, wait. But see, you could have got away from that. You both could have came dressed in giant inflatable penis outfits and still been thing one and thing two.
Yeah. Maybe he was worried
Chris,
he'd try.
Chris, only in your world, Han. Only in your world.
Oh,
I told you all the time.
If y'all want to see a
Sean,
funny movie,
man,
I don't know how
doing?
many people have seen it, but Woody Allen made a movie. Everything you want to know about sex, asterisk, but was afraid to ask. It's not for the kids.
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
You know what else was in for kids? Sausage Party. And do you know how many people took their kids to see fucking Sausage Party because they saw it was animated?
I guess I missed that one.
Oh, you didn't miss much. I mean, there was a couple of funny parts in it, but it was all sexual innuendo the entire time through, and yeah.
When I worked at the theater, I literally watched a couple parents take their infant to a Saw movie, and then they came out and demanded a refund. It's like, it was rated R. How did you not know?
Like, how dumb are you?
Let me guess. They come out after the movie was over?
No, they did leave early enough to justify a refund.
That's what I'm saying. They come in after the movie was over.
I would have been like, "How are you, parents? Are you fucking retarded, or should there be should you have a chaperone for yourselves at this point?" Because
I don't know. Last movie house I went to, I was asked to leave after I put my britches on.
Damn.
So did you like?
So was my date. So was my date.
Did you go in there holding it in your hand or something?
No, I didn't. I didn't go Pee Wee Herman style. I had a date.
With a boat?
Fred
wasn't
wasn't aiming to be the third person to shoot someone in the back of the head in the movie theater.
No, that wasn't. That was near. And funny part was that she was the one that instigated it. I said, I just paid $25 to see this movie. She said, "You want to fight or fuck?" I'm okay.
Hello.
Didn't take me long to get run with the program.
Damn.
If your girlfriend asks you if you'd rather fight or fuck, and you say fight, you are either mentally retarded or you're gay.
I'm telling you.
Makes sense.
It was quite the experience.
Satisfying?
Did you?
For
Hopefully,
you or
at
for
least
her?
got to finish.
No, I had to wait. I got home for that.
Damn it. Sean, where are you from? How'd you find us, bud? Tell us a little bit about yourself if you're still here.
He was on youporn.com and our advertisement showed up.
Yep.
He went to YouTube without the Y. Don't look that up, kids. I made that mistake in my teens.
There better not be kids on this channel. It's
Right? Don't try this at home.
Yeah, I have this set up that it's not for kids for a reason. Because the shit that comes out of my mouth,
right?
I'm not
Um,
responsible for your child.
Nope.
Well,
If you're
shouldn't be
think you're gonna
anyway.
get loaded tonight? You think you're
I
gonna
don't
get
know.
loaded tonight yet, Fred?
I got an hour and a half, and my break's over with. So
Oh,
If they're not going to load you up, you'll find somebody that will.
well, I got 3 hour ride back, and then I'm going to be done till tomorrow, and I can see if I can get out of that. Yeah, me and my supervisor are going to have words come Monday. I got a choice. I can either go to Fort Worth or I can sit all weekend.
Mm.
And they had the audacity to tell me, well, the snow will be gone by tomorrow morning. You can just zip right on through there. I said, I got the Weather Channel too, and I know, but I said, the point is, I refused to load, and all of a sudden now I'm in the dark, and you sloughed it off on me in the last minute, and then you tell me this is my only option. Well, everything up north is covered. You know, with all the storms going there, we're not sending anybody up there. I said, I got 3 other drivers that work for Fleet Master says otherwise. Well, who are those drivers you talking to? You said, you think I'm going to throw them under the bus?
yeah, fuck you.
So,
point is, it exists. So, do something about it.
Well, usually by noon on Friday, I have my trips lined out for me, and I had to call and get my trip for me because they wouldn't send it to me on my computer because they knew I'd fuss about it. So they waited to the last minute. I still got half mine. I might just get sick tomorrow. Well, you live in Nashville. You could just zip by the house. I didn't need to go by the house. Well, you've been out since Christmas Day. Yeah, what's your point?
How's that any of your fucking business?
I made Swift mad when they tried to make me T-call load. I said, fuck that. Hijacked it and drove it to California.
Come on. Say hi to Casper. Casper needs a home. So
Patches, what are you doing?
Hi, Casper. I wish I could take you.
Patches.
no, you want Boo. Don't be lying to Casper.
Fuck both of them.
There's your
already
chance,
said-
Chris. There's your chance.
I ain't fucking either of them. Thank you. Wait, that's not. Wait a minute.
The fuck?
He said, "There's your chance." I was like, "What?"
No, she said she wanted both of them. You get rid of 2 for 1.
Yeah, because I know they're fucking bonded, damn it. And not sexually, damn it.
Joined at
You
the
said
hip.
you have the Calico one, right? Yeti. This is the baby Cali.
She doing
That's
what
third
mine just
generation
did.
Cali.
That little hole needs to be fixed.
This is
What'd you
third
call her?
generation Cali.
That's the baby. That's the boo.
I know. I was talking about Callie. I said that little hole needs to be fixed.
So does her mom. Callie's
You
mom.
need to shoot the balls off of Leo is what you need to do.
Well, no, I need to get.
Don't
I
kill
need to
him,
get
just
all the
wing him.
details and fucking, if I get close enough with a fucking rubber band, do it that way.
Just get you one of them rubber band guns. Some little just pieces of plastic with the trigger.
No. What I mean is that's how you steer animals.
Oh, okay. I
There's
understand
a
what you're
machine
now.
that you put a rubber band on, you wrap it
yeah.
around, and pop.
Castration.
You
Gotcha.
Yep.
I don't know how I missed that.
I think we need to do it to you first and see if you like it. Then we'll do it to him.
I don't think so. I've seen it done. It's nasty. It stinks. You don't want it under as a. Yeah.
Well, I have to walk around like that. Can you imagine how much pain that thing would be in?
From what I'm told, once the blood circulation is killed off in it, it loses all feeling.
Yeah.
But
Come here and
before
tell me
you-
how.
Until then,
Come here and let me know if that's true or not.
Bruce said, I have to get the last of our stuff packed up for the move tomorrow. I'll look if there's a show on Sunday. Have a good night, everyone.
Later,
All
Ruth.
right, Ruth, be safe. Congratulations again to Richard on getting a new job, and both of you is getting a new place to move into. I'm happy to hear that. I'm sure everybody else is too. Yeah, once you get situated, you're more than welcome to join us on here and throw as much shit around as you want. Just nothing in the
You can
mouth.
sling
okay?
it, but you better be
Yeah.
prepared to take it.
Yep.
Hey, did
She's been
y'all
around us long enough.
did y'all see that thing Trump did as like press conference or something where he brought that guy up that's investing $20 billion in data centers here?
Yeah.
No.
I'd be very interested. Apparently, it's supposed to be for AI, training AI and whatnot. But I'd be kind of interested in seeing how that goes. I
Why
mean,
are we
20
so trusting AI when we see stuff in movies
well,
of them? Oh,
okay,
God.
right, yeah. Trust me, my brain has gone there. I'm not gonna. I'm hesitant to say that it could never get there, but we're not there yet. What we're calling AI is essentially a high tech search engine. That's what we're not working with, Skynet just yet. Although I do think Elon Musk should have called Skylink Skynet.
Yeah, no.
There is a. I've seen the videos. It's a conference going on, a technical conference, where they have made a companion AI robot. Bitch is
Oh,
hot.
yeah. They've already made
So
a robot AI one, so they're already
here's
there.
my
But
here's my
they're not
only
designed to replace humans as far as work. It's a companion for Lonely Hearts Club.
In other words, for losers who can't find
Well, elderly who just need somebody to sit down and talk to. But they're supposed to be
I guess
fully
that's-
anatomical and respond and pick up and everything just like a real human would. But that's still a little scary.
No shit.
Donald J. Trump wants me to attend his swearing-in ceremony. Details enclosed. We go look. I bet it has to do with money. They're gonna want money from me.
It is. It's always money. I don't got it.
Granted, it sounds like they've got the phone number of their representative. But Tyler was talking about them getting the tickets through their representative for the inauguration. So I went in and I looked. I was like, I don't think there's a single representative for my area, state or otherwise, that even has that. Massey, he's got his linked right on his government page. But none of our guys doesn't seem like they think anyone in Texas would be interested in watching Trump get sworn in.
I'd love
It's
it.
not like we've got overwhelming support for Trump in Texas or anything.
Well, I'll behave. I'll behave because I was gonna
Well,
go
you-
after certain rhinos
don't-
and.
You don't have to, dude. I've become. I had started up doing the whole YouTube thing. I was working on it. I'd put on a few videos, just stream of consciousness. I was thinking about something as I was driving or as I was getting ready to drive. So I just put it on my mount. Sit there, eyes on the road, but talking to the camera, and then I'd park and finish my video and then edit it. But Texas is not the bastion of freedom it used to be. And the bulk of the blame actually belongs on our rhinos, not our Democrat socialists. Because they just... Let me put it this way, okay? I could go on for days about this, that, and the other. I've probably researched this issue about as much as I've researched the VA issue. So, two things that stuck out to me. One, we had this guy Andy Hopper, who was he was running. I think he won for my parents' district, which I live just outside the line for. So I'm stuck with jackasses I've got. But
You
Abbott
jackass.
sent out a mass mailer saying Andy Hopper is lying and blah blah blah, and he had in big block letters at the bottom, "I need Lynn Stuckey back in Austin." And of course, my thought is, who the fuck cares what you need? It should be what we need, the people you're supposed to be serving. Also, leading up to during the last gubernatorial race, he spent the entire time the number one thing his team sent out: do you want me or Beto? Me or Beto? Me or Beto? Well, obviously I don't want Beto, but we had three other. Well, I say two. My dad was stuck on Don Huffines. I don't like the man. I get a funny feeling from him. But other than that, we had two great alternatives on the Republican side that could have taken over and undone a lot of the damage Abbott has done. One was Alan West, who I have personally met. Phenomenal individual.
I like Alan.
Very genuine
I like Alan.
person. But he also knows how to play politics because, he was a lieutenant colonel in the Army.
Yep.
So it kind of comes
he's
with the
also
job.
Fucking, he's quick as a whip. He'll
Absolutely.
He puts them in their place, but he does it in the nicest fucking way possible. So
Yeah.
it pisses them off even more.
Exactly. Or they either get pissed off or they get pissed off and learn. So and then the other was Chad Prather, known on Facebook as Political Cowboy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I like
him.
Chad too.
He was my guy. I voted for him. I even went to one of his shows and met him afterwards and told him, I voted for you, and I think you're the governor Texas needs. He was the only one the entire time. Alan West and Don Huffines were talking about getting rid of property tax. Alan West and Don Huffines both seemed like they were contemplating getting rid of it straight out the gate, day one. And of course, I was like, no, you can't do that. I want it to be gone. I would love to actually own my home one day. But you can't do that without creating an economic shock to Texas that we'd never recover from. Chad Prather was the only one of the three that came out and actually said that. So I was, and while he doesn't come from Texas, he's a Texan. He's got a Texan's heart. He knows what Texas is supposed to be. But the entire time, Greg Abbott was pretending that they weren't even running, refused to even acknowledge, wouldn't show up for the debates, and just kept saying, me or Beto, me or Beto. And tied in with that, it's alleged that he had Facebook shut down campaign pages on the Republican side. And all the while he's screaming for harsher penalties for voter fraud, voter fraud was already a felony, which, for those who don't know, felony used to be a crime that could be punished by death. You may not put somebody to death for it, but death is always on the table when it comes to a felony, or at least that's how it used to be. But funny enough, leading up to his election and re-election and shortly before, he has the same powers on a state level as the president does on the national level, so he can veto. Yet he signed Senate Bill 1, which lowered voter fraud from a felony to a misdemeanor, only to pull an Obama and quietly raise it back to a felony a year later after they'd had enough time to hide evidence. So we it starts there with the governor. We got to get that fucker out of there, and we got to get a constitutionalist in there, because we're dying. If Texas falls, the rest of the nation falls. No one else stands a chance. So, not even Florida.
Has anybody seen the video at Carter's funeral where Obama and Trump were
laughing.
chumming, and Kamala looked around, she got mad as fuck.
Yep.
I don't know
They
how
were sitting
she's
right
mad.
behind her.
She's always
A lot of
toking
people
and
were-
drinking.
A lot of people were sitting there trying to say that that because Obama and Trump were laughing together, that it's a big club and you're not in it. They're in the same club. What
Well-
the fuck? They're at a funeral. They're putting their differences aside.
Jill
having a conversation.
Biden snubbed her so damn bad it wasn't funny.
Animal Farm says, Sasquatch and Yeti, what a combo.
And I find it funny that comment comes from someone with the handle Animal Farm.
Maybe we'll have to do a show like
Start a segment called
Atlas
Animal
and-
Farm.
she's a teacher.
That's what we
She's a
should call your
teacher.
channel, Chris. Animal House
Animal House. There you
Animal
go.
House.
in the 7 a.m. block,
Excuse me.
Here, let me
'Cause
play something
because-
for you guys.
because that really it really gets real sketchy.
Everything's sketchy.
Nah, not us.
No. Balls.
I would never do anything like that.
Balls.
My balls. All right.
Between the balls and the snow dick.
I still need to make a snow dick.
Don't eat the yellow snow.
So I want to make sure I don't make it too
In
loud.
the heart of the woods where the tall trees sway, there's a
Sound before
legend that comes to life each day. He's got stories to tell and truths to find with a voice that echoes through the pines. Chatting with Sasquatch, knowing no bounds, digging up secrets hidden in the ground. Powerful voices you can't ignore. Justice and truth we'll all explore. From the peaks of mountains to the streets below, we'll unravel the tales that few dare to know. Questions asked in every show, shining light where shadows grow. Shouting with Sasquatch, knowing no bounds, digging up secrets hidden in the ground. Powerful voices you can't ignore. Justice and truth we'll all explore. From the peaks of mountains to the streets below, we'll unravel the tales.
I think I'm gonna
that
cut
we
this
dare
last
to
one
know.
off.
Bold questions asked in every show.
Animal Farm.
Shining light where shadows grow. Shouting with Sasquatch, knowing no bounds. Digging up secrets hidden in the ground. Powerful voices you can't ignore. Justice and truth we'll all explore.
Animal Farm.
Animal Farm.
Animal Farm says, I like it, Chris. I'm doing the Trump dance.
All engaged with monsters, a myth and truths in the air. Sasquatch leads us with the fearless glare. Shouting with Sasquatch, knowing no bounds.
I like it.
Digging up secrets hidden in the ground.
That's good.
Powerful voices you
I like it too. I need to come up with an intro video to go along with it. That's what I'm having a problem with.
Just one thing. I don't know if Will Astrick is still here. He'll attest to it. I made this mistake when I first started. I failed to check the audio levels after I had posted a video. So I'd make sure you check that. You know how, like, when you're editing it, you can adjust the different sound volumes for the music, the voice, and all that.
Yeah.
I would do a test download, and probably unlist it. That way it's not using up your notifications for the day.
Yeah.
And make sure that the sound levels are adjusted properly. Because I damn near blew my ears out on one of my own videos one day. I was like, oh shit, I got to fix that.
Right. And let me see here. I'll show you my picture for my trademark. I need to get it trademarked. That takes money.
Yeah.
Fuck money, man. Well, I want
Now-
money.
Unfortunately, money makes the world go round, and
I don't know about trademarks.
OnlyFans.
And I'm no lawyer. But
will you pay me
I
to
did-
put it back on, Fred?
No.
I did read something a while back that said something like the creator, has a copyright by default. Obviously, that's not a trademark, but all you're doing when you file the paperwork, you're essentially registering your copyright. I wonder if trademarks have similar rules.
Yeah, I believe so.
Because if that's the case, you can do a poor man's one and just mail yourself a envelope and don't open it unless somebody tries to steal your shit. And then you can just look, post dated, open, proof.
Well, I mean, everything's dated on here. I have everything saved.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
And everything I make I make sure all that information is on it.
What's in the... What?
And I don't know why anybody else would need a picture like this, but besides that, it looks really cool as hell. And as soon as I go through the 3,000 fucking pictures I got on my phone, I might find it.
Well, I'm thinking about it. I need to look something up. No, I don't need to check my credit score. Go away.
Oh, let me check it.
My credit score sucks.
I have worked
That's what I
really
said.
hard to get mine back up.
If somebody wants to steal my
co-signed for a
credit, more
friend.
power to them.
I co-signed a car for a friend, so yeah, that's why. Right now.
Animal Farm said, Fred, we know where your mind is. So this is my trademark. The only problem is I probably have to take the Penn State stuff off of it unless I license it with them.
Do you think that would be feasible? Licensing it through them?
I don't know. They might not like my content, so they probably say no. I mean, it's not a big deal. I can cut it out and just fill it in.
Yeah.
With regular color. So it's just that when I started doing this, that's what I wore the most of was my Penn State stuff. Which Animal Farm, he fucked it up again and threw away another fucking game. He needs to be fired. Dickhead.
You're fired.
I don't like Franklin. He cannot win a big game. And I'm sorry, Boise State was not a big game. And neither was SMU. But it is what it is. Hey, y'all, I hate to do this, but I'm going to have to wrap this up. Mommy's calling me to make sure I'm not dead.
Have fun.
So.
Enjoy.
Yanni, thanks for hanging out with us, bud.
Yeah, man,
Jamie,
it was fun.
Fred, thanks for hanging out. All Skipper, Gravy was up here. Who else was up here? I'm sorry if I missed you. My brain's fried. But yeah, we appreciate all of you. To all our veterans, thank you for your service. We appreciate y'all. And yeah, please You know, we're building up a really good support system over here between Discord, the foundation, here on the channel. You know, where we're trying to make you guys' lives better, even if it's nominally, you know, just giving you 2 hours to just take your mind off of shit, you know.
Right. Well,
but
that's important because we're not getting a whole lot of escapism out of Hollywood and the gaming industry anymore. So
yeah,
there's a market for
and
it.
the other part is you, unlike some people who say you have access to that person all the time, you get my phone number, you get my email address, you have access to me 99% of the time. I will say there are times that I pass out from pain that I don't hear my phone. So I do ask for some grace there. It's not on purpose. You know, if I'm in some place I can't talk, I will send you a message asking, are you okay? Do you need me now? Or can I call you back in a couple minutes? But for the most part, if you need me, you can get a hold of me and we will talk. You guys need more and more support system that helps you, not the shit that tells you they're going to help you, and then when you need it, they fucking run off and fuck you both middle fingers up in the air as they're running.
Right. Exactly.
You know, another thing we're trying to do is give a big double middle finger to the nonprofit world. Too many people are making huge fucking profits off of nonprofits.
Yeah.
And nope. If you work with our nonprofit, if you work with our nonprofit, you will volunteer. If not, then kick rocks. We don't need you.
Right.
I don't make any money. I'm the owner. I do not make a fucking dime. Any money that gets donated through, well, we're not monetized on YouTube. They'll never monetize me. but we do make we make a little bit of money off of Rumble, and that is linked directly to the foundation's bank account. If we ever get monetized here, that'll go directly to the, you know, it automatically gets linked to the foundation's bank account. I do not make a dime off of any of this, and the only people who make money off of it are the lawyers and the accountant, because I have to make sure my ass doesn't go to jail.
Right.
And I don't know the tax codes well enough to keep my ass out of jail. So,
well, little side note you might enjoy. The IRS people don't know the tax code all that well either, because there is a white whale inside of the tax code. Nobody knows where it's at unless they found it. And once they found it, in order to take advantage of it, they have to sign a non-disclosure. They have to voluntarily take a gag order. But there's a part in there somewhere that you can use to never pay taxes again. The only downside is, you know, if you find yourself needing government assistance, you no longer qualify. But not many people find it. That's how big it is.
Well.
So anyway, it sounds like you need to go take care of some rat killing. It's been fun, and just
definitely have to join us again sometime soon.
Hit me up, and hopefully next time my better camera will be working.
Whatever works. Yep. It ain't gotta be pretty as long as it works.
Well, it's
because I sure as hell ain't pretty, dude.
Yeah. Well, you saw, I cleaned up a little bit. I wet my hair down, combed it, and blow dried it. But, I had it sticking out in places when we tested it earlier. So
mine, even when I brush it, it still sticks out in places.
Yeah.
So I got to even get trimmed up a little bit.
I need to go to the barber.
They all want so much fucking money. The barber over here, the beard guy over here in the town, thinks it's a big city or something. He's wanting like $50 fucking to trim the beard.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
no, come on. I could see 20 maybe.
I got a guy. I mean, as long as all I do is get my beard cleaned up, you know, cut the stragglers and whatnot, or stragglies and whatnot. He'll charge me like $5 for it. I mean, I pay him more than $5, but as soon as I can get to where I can afford more than 12 gallons of gas a month, I'll probably start going back to him.
Yeah, that sucks. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
My rent just went up again. If I couldn't live with my parents, I'd be fucking homeless, dude.
Yeah.
No lie.
Yeah. If I didn't get this place, I'd be homeless. Well, if I didn't get this place, I'd be dead because I'm not physically capable of surviving on the street. But yeah, that was just yet another thing the VA did. They filled out the paperwork and then it just disappeared in the ether. So
Animal Farm says, thank you for cleaning up for us, Yeti.
yeah. Yeah, I try my best. I aim to please. And I did see your comment up there saying nice to meet me. It's nice to meet me too. Thank you. No, I'm kidding. It was fun. It was fun meeting
You can
y'all,
go out and say that you met Sasquatch and Yeti at the same time, but who's going to believe you?
Yes, they are not. They are two different entities. Well, can we call ourselves entities? I don't know.
We're figments of people's imagination.
Pretty much. Yeah. Anywho, well.
All right, y'all. Be safe. Andrew, I'll talk to you on Discord, honey. But yeah, y'all be safe. Have a great night. We're out. Peace, y'all.
Peace.